Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to TTML F1. We are here tonight for season number 7, round 12 of the championship, as we take on the original Italian Grand Prix from the Autodromo Internazionale di Monza. My name is James Hay, going to be taking you to the stream as always on a Sunday night, and joining me in the commentary box, he is my partner in crime. It is Mr. Pepsi Freak. Pepsi, how you doing?
I'm doing well here today. Now we're at the Temple of Speed in Monza. It's going to be very interesting, and like we've kind of seen on Twitter and on the social medias, there's a chance we have a championship be clinched here today, and we'll go on that in a minute over standings and such, what has to be done. But for right now, championship is in peril, and Jensen could walk away with it. But this track does favor Tom a little bit, though, so Tom is going to put up a fight at the very least.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, Tom obviously last week, did he outperform last week? I need to check the podium.
Tom beat Jensen. Jensen finished second, and it was basically a negation of what happened in the United States where Jensen beat Tom. So 1-2 flip-flop, so no real gain or loss. Neither driver got the fastest lap.
Yeah, I had to think there for a second. I didn't get the podium graphic up in time. Tom won, obviously, as Pepsi's already alluded to. Jensen in second, Zoidemer on the podium as well in third position. So a very good run, obviously, by the reserve man there. Jensen, though, leads the championship by 24 points. The easiest scenario to put this in, Tom in second on 236 points. But the easiest scenario for tonight is, if Jensen outscores Tom by 8 points, he is crowned champion, because remember, there's only 31 points available at the end of next week's race, of course, in Brazil for the season finale, of course. Tom there in second on 236. Obviously, he's got the form coming into tonight. Will he bounce back to that brilliant best that we saw him do last week in Mexico? We have to wait and see. Links there in third on 193 points. Rudy in fourth on 179. Then Mitzi C in fifth on 142. Fleddy sixth on 137. Carlsbury in eighth on 97, so big jump down from 6th to 7th. Then Zoidmer in 8th on 87. Funky Chicken in 9th, who's not racing tonight, on 81 points. And Ari's there in 10th on 76. Already got into the driver's standings, obviously, but what does Jensen basically need to do tonight to try and outgun Tom out on track? Because, as you said, Pepsi, this is a track that favours Tom more than Jensen.
It's a risk-reward situation, because if Jensen ends up crashing it or gets in someone else's mistakes, like Australia, he could end up in the wall and lose a lot of points. So I don't know if he wants to go toe-to-toe, per se, but it's going to come down to next week's track in Brazil. If he feels like he's going to be behind the 8 ball at Brazil as well, he may be a bit more aggressive. But I guess the answer to your question is, he doesn't want to step on his own metaphorical feet and cost himself some points here. Finishing second may not clinch the championship tonight in both the sprint race. Remember, it's also a sprint race here today, but it at least puts them in a situation where it's a lot more manageable. Just do what you need to do, finish the car. If you win, that's great, but don't throw away points. Don't go Mr. Superman and end up hitting the wall and end up throwing all the points and have a moment similar to what happened with Tom at Imola. So I think right now is Jensen's game plan. Just keep it clean, keep it consistent, and get as many points as you can. Don't make a mistake, and a silly mistake, trying to clinch the championship here tonight in the Temple of Speed.
Yeah, definitely. So, also on the line is the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull leading the way on 402 points. McLaren in second on 330. So, basically what Red Bull needs to do, outscore McLaren by as many points. I think the maximum they can gain is 56 points, including that fastest lap. So, as long as they outscore McLaren tonight, they are crowned Constructors' Champions here tonight. Mercedes in third on 260 points. AlphaTauri fourth on 236, so that could come down to the wire. Haas in fifth on 159. Alfa Romeo sixth on 108. Aston Martin 7th on 88, Alpine in 8th on 49, Scuderia Ferrari in 9th on 39, and Williams there in 10th on 23 points. And that brings us very nicely into one-shot qualifying. Of course, around the Temple of Speed here in Monza, this historic circuit has been on the F1 calendar, of course, since 19, I'm just trying to find it, really, where the first Grand Prix was actually, it was in the 1950s, the first Grand Prix was actually held. I think it was like 1952 or something like that. And of course, 5.7 kilometres and then 3.6 mile. The two DRS zones, of course, one down the start finish straight in towards the Rettifilio chicane, and then one down the Curva del Serralio in towards Variante Ascari, and that's down in towards turn 8 at the end of the middle sector. Pepsi, though, one-shot qualifying, all based off one lap pace. Who do you expect to come out on top?
Tom, it's risky reward because it's one lap pace, but I feel like Tom's been pretty strong qualifying, and he usually gets that first lap strong, while Jensen seems to kind of always be a little bit cautious on his first lap, so I'd say Tom has the advantage. By the way, 2 quick notes. One, Tom Robo is our second in the standings. Just to let people know if they didn't see the gamer check change, that is driver second in the standings. Don't be alarmed. And secondly, this is also going to be the last makeshift sprint race we have to do in this game, because next year's game will come with sprint racing. So at the very least, it's kind of a somber moment here at the end to we have to not rely on ourselves to make it. But yeah, Tom takes the advantage of qualifying.
Yeah, Tom, I think definitely we'll have to wait and see, of course, of who we go on board with in qualifying. Ewan didn't do his setup. Chris, though, is the man we're going to go on board with. CRE Chris, he's on the run towards the line, in towards turn number 1. You can reach 210 mile an hour in towards turn number 1. Tom, Robert, Jensen expect them to be at the top end of the standings come the end of qualifying here for one shot. But Chris on the run down in towards turn 1 at the rest field chicane. Just missed the curb slightly there through turn 1 and clips the curb to the left-hander of turn number 2. And already his lap time looks like it's not going to be towards the top end of the field. But you never know, anything can happen on these one-shot laps. When I come through the right-hander of Curva Grande at turn number 3 and towards the end of the first sector. 26.7, now that was the benchmark that we were seeing in F2 early on. Through the Della Roger chicane, Chris on a good lap at this point. He's got Fleddy and MTC, both on a set of medium compound tires actually. But it's that age-old battle of Jensen and Tom Robert on top so far on one shot. But we're still on board with Chris coming through the second Lesmo, and then on the run down, Curva del Serralio in towards the left-hander, of course, and then the right and left of Ascari. The Variante Ascari is coming down the hill. 53.5 in the middle sector. Top guys would have been setting 52s, I think, as Chris has just nearly butchered it and he's spun the car. So I'm going to quickly hop off board with Tom Robbo if I can get there. Tom Robbo there, out on top at this moment in time. Chris still right down the bottom end of the field. Daniel, I believe, has invalidated as well. But Tom Robbo now coming through the final corner on the run to the line on the AlphaTauri. Is he going to be outdone by Jensen? I think Tom might have this, on the run to the line here at Monza. And it's a good 0.2 of a second clear of Jensen. Big time to gain, but Tom well on top. Jensen in second. The first two we were expecting are the first two out. But look further down the field, Pepsi. Third down to sixth, covered by 1/10 of a second.
That shocked me first. I'm shocked that Luca, new face, if I'm not mistaken, or a reserve driver that hasn't been here in a while, he is third in the standings. Doggett Smith was also pretty competitive as well, so two faces that I'm not saying aren't really fast in their own rights, but kind of shocked that they got that high. And also Metisi and Metisi and Fleddy both did those laps on a set of mediums. So very interesting ball of strategies here. But yeah, Tom and Jensen kind of in their own little world there. But 3 through 6 all under a blanket, and it's definitely going to be fun to watch at the very least.
Yeah, it definitely is. Tom Robbo, though, out on top, done exactly what he needed to do. And, of course, if he gets a fast lap and the race win here, that's an extra 11 points going towards his title challenge. Jensen in second, Luke in third, good qualifying from him. Same with Darren in fourth. Noah, Rudy, Chalkers, Links, Fleddy and MTC ran off the top 10. Interesting that Fleddy and MTC on the set of mediums. Then it's Ewan, Chris, just run on board, and it's got off the stream as well. I think it was Daniel and Steph at the bottom end of the field there as well. Luca, yes, by the way, is a reserve driver, so he is not going to be picking up as many points as what we might not necessarily see, certainly for a team perspective. But beautiful blue skies and sunshine, 13 laps around here at the Autodromo Nacional de Monza. And this, I hope, is going to be better than F2 sprint race, because F2 and F4 sprint race, a little bit of a shambles, to be honest.
Yeah, from what I heard, it wasn't the cleanest of driving standards, which is a shame, because this track, like I said, kind of hinting last week, is this track kind of is an equalizer in a sense that if your driving potential is not as high as others, it's a good track where a lot of it's flat, so you don't get kind of twisty and turvied in other areas. So it does give some drivers that maybe in the 6th or 7th, usually in a weekend, to get a good chance to get to a third or a second. So it's kind of a shame, but sometimes that does happen. But I think these F1 drivers are the cream of the crop. They had their one bad race already in Australia, and I think they got it out of their system. Let me quickly knock on wood to make sure we don't have a shambolic race here. But I feel confident these drivers have the ability to bring it home safely. Now, looking at the tire strategy here, Daniel and Steph, the only two drivers that didn't put laps down, also went on a set of mediums, which, honestly, I don't hate the call, because we've seen in these sprint races that mediums to softs seem to be the smarter strategy than softs to mediums at the very least. So I like the call. The only thing is, will it play out? Because Fleddy and MetTC are going to be in a bit of traffic, so it's going to be a bit hard for them to carve their way up to the field quickly with only 13 laps. But I think I like their odds to make it work.
Yeah, to
And
be
also,
honest,
make sure you silence your cell phones before you start commentating. Sorry, continue.
don't worry at all. I would say, honestly, softs to mediums is probably the better strategy around here. Saw in F2, certainly during the week that we saw, set of softs only going around 4 or 5 laps. They can get an undercut, obviously, and then mediums for 8 laps. Double that amount of strategy in the feature race, and then you get, basically, that 50% strategy that everyone is going to have. It's pretty much a halfway house. There's a Red Bull round in the background. I think it was MedTC that went off track there in the background, a shot coming through Ascari. Doesn't want to obviously do that though out on track, but we are just moments away here from getting going for the sprint qualifying here in Monza. It is Tom Mobile on top, Jensen second, Luca there in third. Will they be the top 3 to come at the end of the sprint race? Time will tell. I'm going to go straight in there and actually predict the top 3 here. I am going Tom Mobile for the win, Jensen second, call me boring if you want, but for third I'm going to go Fleddy.
Ooh, I'm gonna go risky. I'm gonna go Tom, Rabo, Jensen. I'm gonna go MedTC. I'm gonna go Tom, Jensen, MedTC is my top 3.
Well, they are on those fresh set of mediums. They've only done 1 lap on those mediums, and necessarily they might be warmer than the softs out on track as well. Hopefully, though, first time start here in spring qualifying. The drivers now joining up. Let's predict the pit stop strategy. Lap 7 to 12. But now we're about to get going here. 4, 5 red lights in sprint qualifying. It's round 12 of the championship. It's sprint qualifying, and it is... Lights on, away we go, and Tom absolutely accelerates off the start, and Jensen is going to have to try and hunt him down in towards turn number 1, and it's not good enough. Rudy's made a really good start, though, up to 4th position, getting ahead of Noah and Darrow on the run down in towards turn 1 at the Retafilo chicane. 3 wide almost in the background, and Noah forced it on the inside line. There was a little bit of contact there between him and Rudy. Rudy drops behind Luca now as a result, and Luca now up to 3rd, but the Mercedes are going side by side coming through Curva Grande, Curva Biasono, Tom Hard on top, though. Jensen, in 2nd. Rudy there in 3rd, ahead of his teammates, so Luca remains down into 4th, so he's lost the position there. The McLaren of Lynx, I think that is, try to dive it down the inside line of Fleddy. Really clean, apart from that three-way contact, apart from that contact there, as Ewan has gone into the back of Fleddy. I think there was just a catch on wheels, basically, there, and Fleddy is sending around. He's got left side end plate damage on the car, and that is him now, going to run with a T-tray out on track. Ewan, though, none the worse. He's there in 11th position. He was just wrong place, wrong time. Fleddy got caught on the outside curve, basically got flung into the side of Fleddy, and that is into the side of Ewan, and that is why Ewan's still in 11th. Fleddy down in 14th. Very unfortunate, but wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, especially it stinks as he's on a set of mediums. He's going to have to pit either for a set of hards, be uber slow, or pit for a set of softs and have to make another stop. So any chance of him getting ahead in this field is basically nil and void. So it's a bit of a kick in the teeth moment for him. But we're going to cut to the field here. We got Noah on the back of Dargan Smith here, but Dargan Smith going to get the slipstream off Luca. Tom Rabo sets a fast lap of the race. And can we get a toe down? We've seen some lunges happen at 3 through 6, but very argy-bargy in qualifying. Looks like Rudy will hold station. Dargan Smith going to be patient. Noah, Dargan Smith maybe around the outside. No, not going to make anything. Going to get a little pokey, but not going to make anything happen. They're all going to hold station at least for now, but when DRS activates 1 lap time, I think we'll get a little bit argy-bargy at the very least. Noah, though, kind of being patient at the very least, holding on back here, seeing who else is on any kind of push or run. It looks like they're all getting a little bit spaced out. Ooh, MedTC as well. Thank you for the call out there. MedTC going to try to make a move around the outside of Ewan. Going to use those mediums. Going to get a little bit of pushy push. And it looks like Ewan going to hold station, going to cut the kind. And a little bit of a gravel tap by Ewan. But MedTC is going to fall back down to 12th, or at least stay in 12th. And Ewan will hold spot, at least for now, as I think Noah can make a run here.
Yeah, Noah can make a run on the back of Darrow. Darrow, I think more immediately, he's going to try and make a run on Luca. Luca is the one that seems like he's struggling. The German there in 4th position. Darrow there in 5th. And Noah will try and pull to the inside line towards Ascari. But you may as well not risk it because you get DRS next lap around. So you may as well just wait until that point. Tom leads the way though. 6/10 of a second. Jensen in 2nd. Rudy in 3rd. Back to that battle with Ewan and MedTC. They went argy-bargy through the Retterfield chicane at turns 1 and 2. And therefore they are now down pretty much with Steph in 10th position and out of that DRS train at this moment in time. But Steph's tyres are obviously going to come into play with him being on those fresh medium compound of tyres, as Tom Robles sets the fastest lap of the race with a 21.8, and nobody I think is going to be close enough down in towards someone. Of course, DRS is now enabled, but it doesn't actually get enabled online until basically where Fleddy's running down in toward the middle sector, down in towards Ascari. That is where the second DRS zone is around here. I've heard rumours actually that they're going to put a DRS zone into Parabolica perhaps for this season and add 3 DRS zones for more overtaking rather than 2. I mean, Italy, you normally get a load of overtakes anyway, so might not be the case for Liberty Media to do that, obviously, in real life. Lynx is on the back of Chalkers. No, a little bit sideways there out of the gravel slightly, but Lynx on the back of Chalkers. I think everyone's now just settled down, but obviously they'll have one eye possibly towards the pit lane, as Lynx is on the back of Chalkers and MedTC is through on Ewan, who I think has just made a mistake through the Lesbos, and he has. So MedTC wraps that one up and he comes through and he's into 11th position, but is he for long? Because now Ewan on the back of him once again. The Alfa Romeo on the back of the Red Bull pulls the inside line towards the score. He doesn't want to risk this down the inside line. And MedTC holds position there in 11th. Smart driving from Ewan. Didn't want to put himself at the inside line. And Steph gets very sideways, and just in front is now Ewan. He's going to have the run on MedTC in towards Parabolica.
Yes, he is going to have the move in the Parabolica here, and we're going to see what Ewan can do here on the toe down the line here. Going to have the inside corner. How aggressive will he take it? Looks like he'll have the inside pinch, but not going to get the run. Actually, he's going to get a little bit better run than I thought he would. But MedTC is going to out-traction him on the outside. Jensen is going to make a move on Tom Robbo there for the lead there, so that's a little bit more of a pressing battle as Jensen, our points leader, makes a move on Robbo for at least position, or I should say Tom, not Robbo. And Ewan also makes a move back on MedTC and going to take a 2-wide move on Steph, and Ewan gets a spot as well. So good driving by Ewan, a man that forgot to put a setup on, is doing relatively well at the very least. And it looks like we kind of betted on the wrong horses here, as both the drivers we bet on medium runners are currently too low, as Steph and MedTC touch wheels there, and MedTC will hold on to 12th position, and Steph will keep 11th, but MedTC not making those mediums work as well as he probably wants to.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're coming across quiet on my end, I think, in terms of your microphone. Might just need a re-plug in, perhaps, there. But Jensen leads the way. Tom Robble there in second, Rudy there in third, Luca in fourth, Darren in fifth, Noah in sixth, Chalker seventh, Lynx in eighth. Of course, they'll have one eye on the pit lane, but Tom, right on the back of Jensen, doesn't want to put himself into any misfortune out on track. The two championship leaders are first and second. Chris, though, gets the move done on MedTC, and that's around the outside, I think, in towards Ascar. He's off track, so he might have to give up the position. MedTC has to back up that one because he was on the inside line, and he would have got caught up there and checked by the Williams in front of him. Jensen, though, I think there might be one eye in the pit lane possibly for these guys. They're carrying on for now, the front runners at least, but Jensen sets the new fastest lap of the race. Tom Robbo, though, is going to come steaming now at him, down into the rest of field chicane at turn number one, and the championship second overtakes the championship leader out on track. So Tom Robbo now leads the way once again. Jensen there in second, and Chalkers has just set an absolute dive down the inside line. He's went off track, in fact. He has to take to the escape road, and unfortunately for him, he had no patience for the polystyrene boards at all, and he rejoins track there in 8th position, none the worse. As a result, he has just lost a bit of time as a result of that one. But Chalkers there down into 8th, has lost a few positions. Jensen, though, on the back of Tom Robbo, still has MedTC into the pit lane for set of softs.
Yeah, MedTC in the set of softs here. I guess he got a little bit of damage here because that's way too early on his stop window here to make that happen. I'll take check in director in a second here to see if that was actually a incident in question. That was for a wing. No, it wasn't. So a bit of an early pit stop, but I guess maybe he feels like that's the right call. Maybe under traffic. Who knows? But yeah, I think right now undercut's been shown to be very potent around here at the very least. So whoever in that top two makes that lunge first is probably going to be in the advantage. Right now that Jensen lost to Tom, he may be willing to kind of take that risk and take an undercut here at the very least. I'll have to wait and see how he does it here. It's on lap 5 or in the window. And we'll see if anyone maybe takes a hard right here to try to get a slight advantage and maybe leading the pack by lap 6, 7, or 8 when everyone else makes pit stops. Keep an eye on the right screen here. Anyone pulling in? No, they are not. So they're most of all the field is going to be going one more lap. And one more thing I do want to point out, though, is that Tom is on 74% ERS, Jensen's on 76, third place Rudy's on 63, and the rest of the field is fluctuating between 20s and 30s. So just shows that it's saving ERS is the name of the game here, and it's very important to save it. It's actually Daniel decides to pit, who's also on a set of medium, so all the medium runners are pitting very earlier than the soft runners, which is very not strategic, as Steph's going to get a little bit shaken off in the corner one there, and he'll be under pressure here from Chris farther in the back.
Yeah, Chris is right on the back. He's just been overtaken as well, Steph, by Ewan. So Ewan got the job done on the outside line in towards turn number 1. Very late move on the brakes, and he got the move around the outside into turn 1 at the Ritterfield chicane. Steph there remains 10th, though. Chris not really enticed by this battle at all. Daniel, however, for substances came out ahead, but by 2 seconds to MedTC out on track. MedTC obviously going for that undercut strategy. Daniel as well. They've only gained, MedTC especially, he's only gained around a second so far out on track, so necessarily might not have the pace. Davos Smith on the back of Luca looked like he was going to have the pace, coming through Ascari, riding the curbs very nicely indeed. But it has been one of those races where I think it's just very slow in demeanour, but it's going to gain momentum as we see the pit stops probably happening this lap or next lap around, one would imagine. And of course, most of the soft runners have to go on that set of medium compounded tyres, as the top 3 remain in. Luca, though, into the pit lane, and I thought Noah was going to come in as Luke was sped into the pit lane and picks up a 5-second penalty for his troubles. Jensen on the back of Tom, steaming Adam in towards turn number 1, but Tom holds the lead. Jensen there in second, and Rudy there in third. 1, 2, 3, normal order has resumed in TTML F1 tonight.
Yep, it's only a sprint race, but it seems like natural order has worked itself back out, and at the very least, it's holding station, at least for now. At the very least, Luke will be the first sophomore into the pits. We'll see if he can gain any time on that top 3 and maybe make it work. But the only real risk he has is that he's going to be a bit slower. There goes Rudy. He's going to have to take a... Actually, that was not Rudy. That was Dargan Smith. Sorry. Yes, Martin bucks up the corner there. Saw green in my eye for a second and was looking ahead. But yeah, he makes a mistake going in to the corner 3 there. Not going to try to butcher the Italian there, and he will end up losing a bit of time to Rudy, but stay in DRS range. And top 6 all under a blanket. So, again, it just comes down to question as who will pit and when. We do see, I think Chris made a slight mistake, there's a no chance for a pass. But yeah, everyone just holding station. But I do agree on the point. I think it's going to get spicy when pit stops are made and we're coming down a couple laps. I think it's going to get very spicy up front, as it looks like Rudy could maybe make a move on Jensen here. Going to take the inside corner here. Now he'll play it safe and back it down. If he was more aggressive, could have tried it, but going to play it safe here. And we'll see if anyone comes in.
Oh, no, he's
no
not
one coming in.
I thought Rudy would have been actually trying to dupe Jensen into the pit lane there, but here comes Jensen on the back of Tom. This looks more immediately like a move for the race lead. He pulls the right-hand side. He had too much speed to carry the momentum in towards turn number 1, and Rudy's going to try and follow through as well on Tom Robbo coming through turn number 1. Tries to get the switch back and remains in P3, but Tom Robbo has lost the position to Jensen, and now the battle possibly until the pit stops remain on. Of course, they have to make that mandatory pit stop with it being a sprint qualifying, but Jensen out on top. Tom Robbo in second, Rudy in third. Clouds are beginning to build over the circuit. It's going to be a dry race though. Even if it rains now, it's probably not going to wet the track enough here. But like in TTML F2 or F4 was one of the 2 races we had this week, it did rain and it did wet the track quite quickly in around 2 or 3 laps. So might be something to watch out for if we are expecting, of course, rain in the race. But Jensen leads the way. Tom Robbo in second. Rudy there in third. Chris on the back of Steph, however, coming out of Curva Grande. This is through the king of turn number 3, and Chris is on the inside line, and now on the outside line actually, but now Steph is on the inside line into the Della Rocha chicane. Don't want to go side by side through here. Just about come out on the other end safely, and Chris remains there in P12, Steph in P13. Rudy again had a move at Tom Robbo into Parabolica. Surely these guys have got to come in the pit lane though. Jensen continues on, Tom Robbo continues on, Rudy continues on. In fact, they're all continuing on, because I think they realise that the undercut strategy is going to be quite potent. Noah's on the back of Dara Smith though in the background, and he now pulls the inside line in towards turn number 1, and the FVR man is through on Dara, but they are losing time now to the top 3. Jensen leads the way, Tom Robbo second, Rudy in third. They're staying out still, and I'm quite shocked at that.
I think the tires aren't falling off as hard as they wish, and they just think they're gonna try to pull an Albon in Australia and go to probably the death of the nail and make it work. But if I'm writing out Tom Robbo, I may pit this time by, because you're gonna come out clean track. True, the only downside is you're not gonna have the toe of the other cars in DRS, which may hurt you. But at the same time, they're gonna have to pit within a lap or 2 anyway, and you could maybe make the undercut possibly work at the very least. Because remember, Luca could be a good test dummy here, because Luca right now is an empty track. He's getting no toe from anyone else, and he's on a set of medium, so he should be a bit faster because his tires are fresher. But he's got no toe, so he's going to be going a bit slower. So it's very weird at the very least, and we'll have to wait and see how it shakes up at the very least. But Jensen still leading the way, Tom Robbo second, Rudy third, and right now, Rudy is Jensen's best friend because he can move Tom Robbo down a spot. That's going to make this championship even more clinchable going into the featured race here. And we'll see if anyone decides to make a hard right in the pit lane here on lap 9. It is getting very dark, by the way. No rain, at least, at the very least. No one coming in.
It's going to rain.
It is going to rain, you think? Okay. But yeah, DRS is more potent at the very least than track positions. Now Tom Robbo going to make a move on Jensen, and he'll take the lead back. So Tom Robbo first, Jensen second, Rudy go for a lunge, too deep on the brakes, and he'll not make it happen, but luckily, no chance at running him down.
Ewan is retired. That's coming through Ascari, and that might be a safety car to VSC. VSC out on track. I might get deployed for full safety car. I don't think I will though, but on lap 10 of 13, that's one of the latest times, by the way, I've seen a VSC deployed in any track, in any race. So 4 laps from the end of the race. What do they do now, though? My reasoning around this, Tom Robbo, Jensen and Rudy, they're convinced that the rain is going to come at the end of this race, and that's why they haven't come in. Unless the drop-off is so potent, this VSC actually has helped all of those guys in a set of softs, not chokers, but all of the top 6 in that DRS train, are now pretty much safe as Steph has retired, and that is actually a crash out on track coming through turn number 2. That's a weird one.
His car's still active. His car's still moving. That's a retirement, because his car was just moving. I saw the wheels, so...
He must have spun.
He was reversing backwards. Yeah, he spun and retired, because the car you can see is moving on track right now as it goes to the corner, so... Yeah, it's not destroyed.
They've got to come into the pit lane, surely, this time around. Hard right, you can just see Tom Robbo, Jensen, Rudy, Steph leaves the session, and they're all into the pit lane. Also, runners are in, however, Link stays out. Link stays out, and you know what? I think that's a really good call. DRS now enabled, out on track. This VSC, they've only come into their pit boxes now. Lynx is going to gain so much time as a result. Not necessarily. Everyone's now on a set of mediums. Where is Luca going to be in all of this as well? Luca's coming out of Parabolica. And do you know what? This is going to be quite close, actually, between the guys coming out the pit lane and Luca. Luca is going to be ahead of all of them, I think, potentially here.
Well,
there's
Tom.
Jensen, there's Rudy.
Jensen.
He's going to be behind Tom, I think. Yeah, he's going to be behind Tom coming out of the pit lane. And Rudy tries to make an immediate lunge around the outside of Jensen coming out the pit lane. Doesn't quite pull it off, but Lynx leads the way. Chalk's in second. Tom up in third. Another VSC comes out. Jensen, though, is going to get the outside line on Luca. Ran the outside through Curva Grande. Rudy's going to follow through as well. Both Mercedes now, one dropping backwards, one going forwards. Rudy through and he's into fifth. Luca there and he's into sixth. Welcome to the wacky world of racing here. Lynx leads the way. Chalk's in second. Tom Robbo in third. But that pit stop, actually, from all of them, I think might have just given the Lynx the race win.
I don't know yet. I'll have to see how it plays out here, but all I know is Wacky Racing was on Channel 2, not Channel 1, so it's going to be a bit of a weird mix here. Lynx is about to hit the last corner here. We'll see. Pulls in. It should be the Wacky pits here, and I think I see rain. Maybe.
It is raining. It is raining, and Lynx is staying out. Lynx is staying out. He has to pit in, though. He has to pit in because he's starting on dries.
Yeah, he started on dries, so no rule change there. So why did he not pit there? It should have been a pit lap. Unless he thinks everyone's going to be slip-slopping, he'll have to pit next time line for sure. Chalkers also stays out. Unless they think,
he can only pit final lap.
Yeah.
Before final lap.
So I think he's thinking that if Tom and Jensen struggle in the rain conditions, he may be able to sneak this one by. Rudy's
on the back of
on
Jensen.
The outside here.
Yeah.
Can he make it happen?
Oh, I tell you what, on the brakes, down the inside line, Rudy might have this. Jensen's pushed out wide, and they're side by side coming now through Curva Grande once again. 4th and 5th position on the line. This could be a net P2 or P3 come the end of the race. So this is absolutely defining the points here out on track. Jensen on the outside line, Rudy on the inside line, and to be fair, Rudy backs off on the inside line, but Jensen goes a little bit too deep as a result, and he's now beginning to slip slide. As you were mentioning there, Pepsi, on those mediums, softs are still going for Lynx. 19.5 seconds the gap between Lynx and Tom Robbo. He only has to pit in this lap around. He's using every inch of that ERS because he knows he's going to gain it back on the final lap of the race. Chalkers is in second. He also has to pit. Tom Robbo there in third is now streaking clear of Jensen and Rudy. Tom Robbo may be on for the win, but it all depends on where Lynx is going to come out the pit lane because he has to come in. Is this going to be sprinters? Possibly here. Look at the track. Look at the track, this might be for Inters. Lynx might be coming in for Inters here. I think it's too soon. And he comes in, and it is Inters. It's going to be Greenwall Inters. And Chalkers into the pit lane as well. The conditions are changing so much. Tom Robbo's at the final corner of Parabolica. He's going to take the race lead. But Lynx potentially is going to be in second coming out of the pit lane. I don't think he is. He's going to be behind the train. And Lynx is on that set of Inters. It's going to turn DRS disabled, final lap. Rudy's on the inside line of Jensen. In towards turn number 1. He absolutely sends it, but he can't get the car stopped on the wet patch. And now Jensen has to come across the chicane. This is unbelievable. And Lynx is on the back of these guys. Lynx is on the back of this train. He could perhaps still win this.
Yeah, that could happen easily, but Lynx has got a lot of traffic here. This is all gone panic mode. Jensen's going to get 3, and he could easily fall down the order. Doggett Smith, though, could be the friend of Jensen. He just went too deep, and he took...
DRS is disabled! DRS is disabled, and Luca's off track as well! And now Lynx is behind Noah. They're absolutely snail's pace in front, and look at Lynx! To the inside line! In towards Lesmo 2, he's going to get the run on Rudy. This is for P3. He's still on to win this. Tom Robbo leads the way.
2 seconds in a sector. 2 seconds in a sector. He's going to have to make up here. It's a drag race now.
It's not going to be enough.
I think he's going to be a little bit too far away from Jensen. He could get second. He definitely will get second.
This is unbelievable.
2.4 seconds. He's going to have to speed down the straight
Oh,
here.
he's going to get Jensen. He'll get Jensen, but he won't get Tom Rubble unless he's absolutely flying at the final corner. Noah's I think has spun, coming through Ascari as well. He has. Tom Rubble, though, at snail's pace, going through Parabolica. Lynx are still catching. One more lap, it would have been completely different. Tom Rubble has managed to outdo these guys on the run to the line. Tom Rubble, that gap proved enough, and he wins the sprint race. What a sprint race. Lynx in second, Jensen in third, but he's not in third because Rudy is third in the end. Luca has a 5-second penalty for an unserved stop goal. Matey C and Daniel nearly side by side to the line as well. He finishes in fifth in the end. Red Bull perhaps have just wrapped up the constructors there with a fourth and fifth finish. Tom Rubble the wins. Lynx in second, Rudy in third. I cannot believe what we've just witnessed. That was one of the most incredible sprint races I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was very incredible indeed, because he played it right. Lynx knew the weather. I kind of had that thought on lap 2 and lap 3, like, the soft runners are pitting for mediums, and the track was getting darker. Like, you think that they maybe saw the forecast and thought there was possibly rain? But I'm like, nah, that's hogwash. That wouldn't make sense. Well, it did, and just, okay, first of all, let's just say this. Tom passing right before the safety car on Jensen won him this race, because that caused Luca to bottleneck Jensen enough to get him some distance that allowed him to run away, and then Jensen struggled on the change of conditions. So Tom can thank Luca for the points he gained here today. Lynx almost pulled off a heroic effort to get that win in the sprint race. He'll be starting P2 for the race. Jensen going to be behind the 8 ball. And I think the only thing Tom's sad about is that was the sprint race, because that only gained him 6 points on Jensen here today. And the gap was 24, if I'm not mistaken, so it's down to 18 points. And he's kind of was hoping it was not, but it's still a clinchable situation for Jensen. But Jensen going to need Tom to have a horrible feature race for that to happen. But Tom needs to keep cutting that gap. He needs a good feature race here to close it even more.
Yeah, looking through the chat, what is going on with... We can't remove warnings, apparently. That's what they're saying in the chat. But Tom Rubble wins. If that race was just 2 corners longer, Lynx would have won that. Tom Rubble wins. Lynx in second. Rudy in third. Jensen in fourth. Takes a fast slap point, though, so remember that. That's an extra point. So that now is 5 points gained for Tom Rubble rather than 6. Metisi, Dara, and the rest of the field. Daniel filling out the top 7 positions that do get points in this race. Chalker saying he had so much potential. Rip indeed. And I think Lynx was absolutely convinced. No wonder they were going the final lap of the race, because I was absolutely convinced the further they were going into the race, the more likely it was going to rain. You may as well just call me Mystic James once again, because it's another prediction.
I thought you said at the very beginning, though, that it was going to be a dry race. So
I did,
I don't know if Mystic James is the right thought. I mean, I think you're Weatherman James, because your prediction rate's about the same as the Weatherman. But it was very chaotic, and it was very enjoyable there. That was quite a fun little experience there, where conditions kind of caught him out there. And Lynx is hoping for one bit better, and again, 5 points. The gap will actually be 19 now. And again, Jensen could still clinch if he gets 10 and a fast lap. It wouldn't be enough, but first, third. But Tom gonna need some good luck here. But Jensen's gonna be a bit behind the 8 ball here, and it just seems like his car was struggling in the conditions.
Yeah, Rudy and Jensen, by the way, are having some very choice words in the Discord. Remember, you've got to respect each other in the Discord, both on track and off track. But it's fair to say both of them were angry at each other. But I think there's only one real condition to blame. Rudy was down the inside line. He would have got that car stopped if it was dry conditions. The track was greasy, and that's why he locked up in towards turn number 1, careered into the side of Jensen, and that's what caused the incident. Just the pure changeable track conditions changed the shape of the race. Rudy and Jensen, otherwise, if they didn't make that contact, possibly could have still been on the podium. Who knows what could have happened if that was the case. But I'm not defending Rudy's actions, whatever. The gap was there, inside line. Jensen could have cut him off easily. He didn't. Rudy dived down the inside line. Changeable conditions. I think conditions were to blame for that one.
Yeah, conditions definitely for sure there. He was getting a little bit antsy, but yeah, that was conditions. By the way, Doggett Smith kind of helped out Jensen there a bit too, because he caused Luca to fall some time down along with himself. That could have been another spot or 2 lost. But at the same time, yeah, conditions kind of cost him out on that one dearly, and it kind of reminds me of Belgium, where Tom made that mistake in the sprint race, cost himself some points, but then the tires came life at the end, got a few more points back. And it was kind of the same thing there, where Lynx made the strategy work with the intermediates at the very end and made it work. So this is the second of 3 sprint races that have had rain change the last couple laps. and make a more interesting race at the end. So very odd that's happened in 2 sprint races out of 3 we've had so far this calendar year, but that's sometimes just the beast of the F1 games.
Yeah, definitely so. In terms of position so far, now this is not confirmed, obviously, there might be still provisional, these are just provisional results, but 10 points obviously gained for Tom, 5 points for Jensen, because he does get that fastest lap point for finishing in 4th position, and he was only, I think, 200ths of a second ahead of Tom's actual fastest lap time as well, so only 200ths of a second separating that extra point, so Jensen now has got a 19-point lead over Tom coming into tonight. And I'm looking at the standings. Basically, what they need to do, Jensen needs to win. Well, Tom needs to win. Jensen 4th, ideally, would be the scenario for Tom to possibly try and take the championship lead. It'll be a 13-point gain if that is the case. But in terms of Jensen... Actually, no, I've got that completely mixed up. It should be Jensen winning. Tom needs to finish 4th to take it to the final round of the season because it's 19 points, 32. We will wrap up the championship if Tom finishes 4th. Any better for Tom, it goes to the final round of the season, and no matter where Jensen actually finishes. So, all comes down to this feature race. All comes down to this. Obviously, tensions are running high from the sprint race, but feature race is more points on offer, more good driving. This is a traditional 27-lap race, and hopefully it is a damn sight better than what we had in the sprint race. And if the sprint race is anything to go by, we're probably on for race of the season.
I may need to get a seatbelt for my chair because how much I was gripping that one, I think I need to be secured down because if not, things may go flying. But yeah, right now if you're Tom, you need to have a good feature race here, and you need Jensen to have a little bit of bad luck because 5 points will not be enough to put yourself in a good spot going into next week in Brazil. So you're going to have to play your cards right and play a little bit of a smart choice here and make it work at the very least. So right now, still all to play for, but Tom got one lucky break, but he was kind of hoping that was in the feature, not the sprint.
Yeah, definitely so. And just to reiterate what I was going to say on stream, and Fleddy, I think, has put this very nicely indeed. Just forget about the sprint and focus on the race. All right, guys, let's see some better driving. To be honest, the driving, I think, was actually better than F2 and F4's sprint race. That was probably the best sprint race I think we've had all week. And that was absolutely right on the edge of the limits of what these drivers were actually doing. Another lap in the dry, Tom would have won easily. Another lap in the wet... Who knows what could have happened? Lynx probably would have won that quite easily.
Yeah, he would have got the pass done on that straight. It was 1.4. He would have got him down the straight, or at least if he was patient, could have got him going into the complex of 3. So he would have made that pass work and would have made it successful, and Tom would have finished second. So Tom's just thankful. Again, like I said, Tom's main friend there was the safety car and making the pass for it because that gave him just enough of a cushion to make it work. So that safety car and Luca getting ahead of Jensen was what probably won him this race. Because if not, he would have been hounded by Jensen Rudy, and Lynx would have gotten probably around them all. But that's my humble prediction.
Yeah, I think so, to be honest. But we are waiting for Steph to rejoin the session now. Obviously, he left during that the VSC. He must have crashed it under the VSC, and then he spun through under the VSC, and then he thought, you know what, there's absolutely no point because there's no points available. There's plenty of points available out on track, so hopefully Steph can be able to get back in. Minimum 6 points here tonight. Minimum 6 points. I don't know why drivers would not be joining for the feature race once again. We are waiting on Rudy, and Rudy also saying to Jensen exactly what I said on the stream. He locked up in towards turn 1, and that's why he careered on. Jensen picked up that 3-second penalty. And I guarantee you, there will be an investigation. Jensen will put that in the steward's office. He'll want that 3-second penalty removed. And to be fair, if the 3-second penalties normally do get removed, that probably would, because it's a racing incident at the end of the day, and Jensen had to cut across the circuit because he had no other choice.
Yeah, that was definitely a racing incident indeed. And yeah, not much you could really do on that one, but he could argue it, but we'll see if the stewards decide to hold not, but stewards are going to have at least one look at that at the very least as we're about to get going here. I don't think Steph rejoined Todd Bravo, getting a little bit of a check spam there because I think he's a little bit excited for the main feature race here today.
He is. He's very excited. I think he's too excited, and hopefully he can contain that excitement into a dominant performance out on track to try and take the championship into the final race of the season, of course, in Brazil. Ewan saying in the chat there as well, it'll be a DRS train, so don't worry. Yeah, hopefully so, unless there's an early safety car and it spreads the field out, obviously. Ivan Tonchik there in the comment section saying as well, it reminds me of TTML F4 Kota. Yeah, totally agree on that one. Covered that race, and yeah, it did remind me of that, to be honest, in terms of the changeable conditions. But Jamie in the comment section there saying yo as well. Good evening to Jamie and good evening to everyone that is actually tuning in out in the comments and in the Ethernet.
And to take a United States joke, Al Gore's internet. But anyway, yeah, that was back in like 2000s when I think he was running. He made like the comment that, oh, I made the internet or something. So just a fun little a little bit of a fun joke there at the very least. But anyway, we're about to start here at the very least. And after this, shameless plug, I know, but Indy 500 qualifying after this where they're going for pole. So make sure after this you do watch the Indy 500 qualifying because that is one of the crowned historic races of open wheel racing. Along with that, as Noah's actually left the session. Dargan Smith has left the session. I maybe in for a reset here because they only left, but I don't know. Because it looks kind of very dark or cloudy, but two people just left, so I don't know what's going to happen here.
Have a feeling there's going to be a restart. Looking in the Discord, Rudy's just typing now, so I'll bring you his comment very soon. Dara and... because obviously, if we invite them back, they won't be able to take control of their cars until the first lap of the race, and hopefully they'll rejoin right at the back. We have now 11 drivers. Dara saying he has to have a restart, and MedTC was misclicking. Yeah, I think only to be fair on the two drivers that obviously left the session, they have got other invites to get back in. But I think honestly, we had the same problem in F2 where somebody in the comment section, Jamie, didn't leave the session when he was asked to on the Discord, and that is why we got. But judging by some of the drivers out on track, in fact, I see a little bit of Goldstein actually out on track as well, and there's a collision between Fleddy and Luca, I think. Yeah, not sure what happened there. Surely that's got to have a restart, and MeTC saying it's preset as well. Maybe a restart. I don't know what's going to be happening, but we'll take it on face value.
I have no access to the chat. Yeah, I have no access to the chat, so I couldn't tell you what's happening anyway, so I'll let you be the mouthpiece. E1 in the wall there. This is very odd. Very odd indeed. Two drivers have been disqualified. E1 and Luke have crashed, and two drivers have left.
Yeah, it's really not fair on them. I, as a commentator and also as a league director, I'm saying restart. Oh, as Tom Robert gets very sideways there, coming out. But what it does look like we've got, actually, is a very dry start to this race, at least, which is going to be quite good. Everyone, of course, can start on a free choice of tyre. Medium compound size for Lynx and Tom Robbo. Mediums for MedTC, mediums for Luca, and mediums for Fleddy and Ewan. Everyone else, the other half of the field, on that set of soft compound size, that's Rudy, Jensen, Dara, Daniel, Chalkers, Daniel, Noah, and Chris. And, of course, we have got a restart. Just seen the chat there, we have got a restart. So what I'm going to do is quit to menu, so we don't have to obviously quit our games like on F2 on on Thursday, but I think it's the right decision. Obviously, two people have lagged out, and I think, honestly, it is probably worthwhile that we do get a new lobby running and we do get a restart just for those two drivers. Obviously, not their fault that they went. Jensen saying, though, full dry race.
Okay, so that was full dry, but the only thing I wonder is is it going to be up the random again, or is it going to be a situation where we're going to follow what the previous lobby did? Because who knows? Because I don't know 100% know in that situation, because technically it's not same conditions of race, so there's a chance in a re-roll it could become rainy, so you don't know. But right now, at least the last session would have been dry, so that is a little bit interesting to note at the very least.
Yeah, I'm just typing in the chat, by the way, so continue on with what you were saying.
Oh, yeah, I'll let him, well, he does that, because I don't have as much Discord access. I'll just continue on talking. Yeah, it could be a situation where rain, if it is another race done here, again, re-roll the dice, we see a bit more rain than a dry race. So, could change strategy up, or it may even be drier and sunnier than that lobby was. So, there's still that risk-reward situation here, and we don't 100% know what's going to happen, but we're going to wait that one out as we do wait for Rudy to reset his game along with others and remake the lobby, and we're now just going to kind of wait this out here. And I'm just going to kind of keep talking because we don't have any standstill music or anything, so we're just going to have to make this kind of work here and kind of fill for air because dead air is no good. So, yeah, we'll see how it shakes up here. I think Tom. The only thing that kind of stinks though is someone like a pitcher in baseball comes out of the bullpen and then gets start and stopped, gets up, sits down, gets up, sits down. It's a situation where it's going to be shaking a little bit. And I think these drivers, you had the sprint race, and then you had a little bit of a break period there while they were waiting, and then it's a situation Tom is that not Tom. My co-commentator James has now went blue screen to invite. So as I now got the mental game. These drivers are pretty strong mentally, but there's that little bit of an element that all right, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go now, and had to wait 5 minutes for the. The driver's mentality could be a little bit shaken, as I'm getting tired of rambling here. So, James, you got anything else you want to add? Please go ahead. I think they're getting tired of my voice.
Yeah, I've just gone blue screen as well. I've just invited everyone into the lobby because Play Together actually worked tonight, so I could actually invite every single person. So they should have just received an invite off me there. And we are waiting on the grid. I can't go back on the stream in terms of the grid, so take it on face value what actually happened in the sprint race. Unless somebody has got a screenshot, that'll be ideal. I think we have actually. Yes.
Someone had to write it down because they had to translate one way or the other. Someone wrote it down. So
yeah, I'm gonna put it into the F1 chat just so we've got everything. And Tom Roberts said he doesn't have an invite. He does have an invite. I've given him one in terms of the invite. Oh, and Kermit has literally just put in the same screenshot as me. Terrible. Terrible. We're both on fire, though, which is good to see. Yeah, but everyone should have an invite off me, at least. It might be taking a little bit slow for drivers to obviously get through. But let's review, of course, what happened in that sprint race. It looks like everyone's now put in that screenshot. But Tom Robo won, obviously. Link's in second, Rudy there in third. Very topsy-turvy sort of race, I've got to say, that sprint race. But Tom did everything he needed to. Pole position, and the race went. Not the fastest lap, however. He was only, in terms of the fastest lap, 0.03 of a second off the fastest lap in the Italian Grand Prix there in sprint qualifying. But obviously for the feature race, 27 laps around here, and it is going to be a clear race, which is good to see.
All right. So it's not. So they will go with the conditions previously, and it will be a dry race. No chance of rain. So you can take those out of the conditions here, and it's going to be dry. So put your dry setups on and make your stuff work.
Yeah, definitely. So we are waiting, I believe. Tom Robo hasn't got an invite, I don't think. But I'm just going to go blue screen for a second and actually get the drivers in that haven't joined. That is Tom Robo and Steph. Both of them should be on. Tom Robo's showing offline, so no wonder he hasn't got an invite off anyone. So he needs to do that first before obviously accepting the invite, which I think he will accept. Steph, I'm not sure. He looks like he's showing offline now, Steph, so not sure if he's actually going to be joining back to the race. Tom Robo is in, though, which is good.
Yep, Robbo in, because that would be definitely a championship implicator right there if Robbo wasn't able to rejoin. But he's here, so it should be all good to go, and I don't think Steph will probably rejoin. He had all that opportunity to, and I don't think he will as we wait for the lobby to get resituated here. Thank you for the viewers still sticking around here. I know there's sometimes technical difficulties, so it's good that you're sticking around here, and we're going to probably do a nice, great race here to watch.
Yeah, let me know in the comment section, by the way, what you thought of the Spanish Grand Prix today in real life. It was a bit of a topsy-turvy one, I've got to be honest, from seeing some retirements there, some problems towards the end of the race as well for both Mercedes. But, of course, unless anybody has not seen the race, please look away from your screens now, because I'm going to tell you the race result. Of course, it was Max Verstappen who took the race, win his 4th win in 6 races, now becomes the new championship leader. And I think after the end of the race there, Charles Leclerc obviously is still in 2nd position in that championship, but he was luckless out on track, I think, in terms of that whatever issue I think it was a gearbox issue it was put down to at the end.
Yeah, I think it was a gearbox to the end there, and yeah. I don't know if that was a statement where you're pausing or if you want me to chime in there. Yeah, Sainz also having a bit of a rough start to the season, and definitely looking a little bit lost out there at the very least. Mercedes kind of bouncing back, and right now it looks like it's looking at a 2-horse race for the championship. Obviously, that's kind of Bahrain was the bad race for Verstappen and Leclerc in Spain, so it looks like it kind of equaled itself out like you thought it would. But with multiple rounds still to go, Monaco next week, you know that the bad luck of the Monaco's driver at Monaco could continue here, and it'll be interesting to note. But I'm going to throw it out there now. I got this weird sneaking suspicion that Sainz or Perez is going to win at Monaco next week. The battle of the number twos. One of them is going to win. I lean Sainz, but that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think, honestly, it's whoever gets pole position around Monaco will probably end up winning, so you never know. I think George Russell has actually got a really good chance around Monaco. Mercedes are not necessarily going to be that slow around Monaco. This is probably going to be the track where you begin to see the improvements actually coming out, and I think honestly George Russell could have a shout for pole position as well. Tom Bubble was saying, what is that comment that's just come through? He said he was supposed to go for a number 2 between races, but he forgot, and now he is he's messed up, basically. So hopefully none of the brown stuff comes out on track for him during the race. And while we are on illnesses at this point in time, of course, Lando Norris in real life. If you didn't hear about what happened with Lando Norris, he was feeling very ill before the start of the race. There was very big rumours that he wasn't actually going to start. He finished in P8, but he was diagnosed with tonsillitis after the race. He's going to have 4 days of rest and recovery. And, of course, we all wish Lando Norris well and hopefully getting full health and hopefully getting more points next week in Monaco. So the best of wishes there to Lando Norris. People were saying it was hay fever. It wasn't. It was... it was, unfortunately, tonsillitis, which he got diagnosed with.
Yeah, we wish Lando a best recovery here. One other thing is worth noting that, fun fact, the rapper Drake bet $300K or 190 pounds on Charles Leclerc to win the Spanish GP, and, well, look what happened to Charles Leclerc's engine. So... They kind of say in the NBA and other circles of the United States sports, there's the Drake curse. Drake supports you. Your team ain't going to do well. And, well, look what just happened there. So hopefully Leclerc is hoping that maybe Drake's rooting for someone else next week because he wants that curse to turn to someone else.
Yeah, definitely so. Beautiful blue skies and sunshine. A little bit different now to obviously what we're getting for the first restart, but obviously for the second restart we are getting full dry conditions. It looks like it's going to be clear weather throughout, and of course there's no threat of rain in this race because I saw a comment earlier saying it was going to be cloudy to begin and then of course going to clear weather towards the end of the race. So hopefully that is going to be the case here in F1. We're going to get a full dry race. We're not going to get a link sort of special in the sprint qualifying like we already saw, but here at Monza, 11 corners away and the driver's out on track around this bootleg shaped track. Of course it is basically the shape of a boot. And, of course, we have 2 DRS ons, one down the start-finish straight in towards the Rettifilio chicane, and then one down the Curva del Serralio in towards Scori. Plenty of opportunities for overtaking Pepsi, plenty of opportunities for speed around this track as well. How do you see this one playing out? Because obviously Tom's there in front, and Jensen there, obviously in 4th position as well, as we've seen a bit of a change-up in some of the tyres.
Yeah, definitely a different strategy book here as well. We see that Tom, for instance, on a set of mediums, set of softs. We're going to flip over there. Only drivers on a set of softs are Rudy, which is kind of interesting to note in 3rd. We got Daniel, Noah, Luca, and Chris all on softs as well. Everyone else on a set of mediums. So very interesting to shake up at the very least. But I think right now Tom is going to be kind of the pace setter here. Lynx is a bit of a question mark because we saw him, he was okay, but he was around 7th or 8th on qualifying speed. And he's going to be starting 2nd. He could be a bit of a roadblock early on that could help the likes of maybe Tom or maybe Rude if he gets around Lynx quickly, kind of hold up the rest. So I don't want to be mean to Lynx to say that, but I'm just saying Lynx 8th, 9th pace up here in 2nd could be a bit of a chicane for some other ones. And then other than that, it's just going to be how quickly these mediums hold on, how can the soft runners get up the field. But I think Tom, at least on the opening couple laps, is going to walk the field, at least until Rudy, maybe on the softs, gets an advantage.
Yeah, I'm just going to make this prediction now. It's the first of many that I'm going to make in this race. Rudy is going to lead at the end of lap 1, just purely because those set of softs are probably around 2 seconds quicker than Tom Robbo and Lynx's set of mediums at this start of the race. So do not be surprised if you see Rudy dive down the inside line, even 3 wide in towards turn number 1, and then obviously get the lead on the first lap of the race. And that's what I'm expecting. Certainly we saw that in F2 earlier on this week as well. We're coming around Parabolica for the final time on the run towards the grid, of course. Pepsi, I'm going to come across to you this time. Who's your top 3?
Let's go Tom Robbo, let's go Rudy, and then let's go Jensen. We'll just go a very mediocre top 3. And I know you're going, oh, you're going down 1, 3, 4, but maybe Jensen gets around Rudy on pit stops, but I think Tom takes the win here. And Rudy and Jensen, you could probably flip-flop by a coin.
I'm going to go Jensen for the win, Tom Robbo second, and I'm going to go Rudy for third. Yeah, we're very boring in the commentary box tonight, that is for sure. But we are about to get going here for the feature race. It is round number 12 of the championship here for the Italian Grand Prix. It's 5 red lights, and we are eventually, after a long wait, lights out and away we go, and Tom Robbo gets a very good start. Lynx actually gets the best start of everyone. He's going to pull alongside, actually, Tom Robbo in towards turn number 1, and look at Rudy in behind as well. Rudy's going to have to back off in towards turn number 1, 3 wide in the background as well, but Tom Robbo leads, and he's got a little bit too deep, actually, and Lynx goes around the outside and absolutely gets the move done around the outside line. So Lynx is through, he's into the lead. Tom Robbo there in second, Jensen there in third, and Rudy's dropped down to 4th, so he's lost the position off the start. Matey C and Daniel are going side by side. Noah just in behind this as well. He's going to get boxed in on the run up in towards the Della Rocha chicane, and Daniel goes around the outside of MedTC, just about holds the inside line, and Noah gets opened up on the inside line, and MedTC's lost 2 positions there. Nice move by Daniel, he's through, he's into 5th, Noah there into 6th as well. Ewan's fighting Fleddy right down the back of the field as well. He's got actually a setup luckily on the car, and he's down there in 13th after getting shoved off wide there by Fleddy, but Lynx leads the way. Tom Robbo second, Jensen third, Rudy in 4th, Ewan got very sideways there, just in the background of shot when we cut off board, and Chris is going side by side with Dara in towards the Scary as well, but he's not going to get the move done. On settling down though, Lynx leads the way, Tom Robbo second, Jensen third, and Rudy, what was expecting to be a good start, he's actually slipped off the start and he's lost a position to Jensen.
I think we were both wrong here, because you said Rudy was going to take the advantage there. I said that Tom Robbo was going to run away a little bit till Rudy could catch it back, and I also said Lynx was going to be a moving chicane. And all three have been wrong, because Lynx is pulled away here. We got Rudy, though, making a move on Jensen, now going to make those soft tires work. And he's going to try to out-drag Jensen. He won't necessarily make that happen. So Rudy the third, Jensen the fourth. Rudy sets his sets up on Tom Robbo next to try to get one more spot there, but ain't going to make it happen going into 1 at the very least. Further back there, we do got to move with Dargan Smith and Met TC. Dargan Smith going to try to hang around the outside. Oh, a big move by Chris there. Chris just caught him both napping. That was beautiful, as Chris will take it. So good job on the Williams driver there to take 7th.
Yeah, beautiful move that, and that was a switch back to absolute perfection. MedTC's been hung out to dry. MedTC, surely he's got some sort of damage on that car. He's just been rear-ended by chalkers as well, for good measure. MedTC is not having the greatest start of this race at all. He's lost, what, I think 4 or 5 positions off the start. Lynx still leads the way. Tom Robbo in second, Rudy there in third. MedTC has lost 5 positions off the start. The camera angle's really not working there on the exit. Jensen, though, is now under pressure from Daniel on those set of soft compounded tyres. Daniel looking quick here tonight, the CPI man there in 5th position. Hasn't got that many points to his name so far this season compared to the rest of him around. But Lynx leads the way off Ascari. Tom Robbo there in second, Rudy in third. But look at the run that Rudy's got on the outside and toward Parabolic. Of course, DRS is not going to be enabled until they run down the curve at El Serrario. So Rudy on the outside line is going to have to think about going around the outside of Parabolica. He'll have the traction on the outside line. This should be a beautiful move by Rudy, and it is indeed. Just chops off Tom Robbo at the bit, and now he's going to get the run on Lynx for P1. Running down the straight, Rudy sets a new fastest lap of the race. Lynx now under pressure. Rudy, I don't think, is closing quick enough, and Tom Robbo, right in the slipstream, is now going to try and pull out with Rudy on the outside line in towards turn number 1, into the rest of field chicane. The grip's going to be on the inside line for Rudy. Shut out muscle Lynx. Lynx is still there, though, coming through Curva Grande, and Tom Robbo is getting the piece of the action just in behind and thinking, do you know what, if you two actually come on go and have a collision here, Tom Robbo there in third is going to have a really good run, though. 3 wide into Della Rocha chicane, does not go. Tom Robbo on the brakes, though, down the inside line. Rudy gets out muscled, and goodness me, Jensen's been let into this as well. Jensen's on the inside line of both of them, and he gets the job done. So Jensen through, and he's into second. Rudy's still there, though, on the outside line. He holds him off. Rudy into second. Tom Robbo through, and he's into lead. What have we just witnessed between these guys? As Lynx chops up Daniel right at the pass there.
Yeah, Daniel and Lynx were fighting there, and they touched once, they touched twice.
And it's
Daniel
Rudy!
The big loser there. Chris is going to make the move back up to the front, though. We got Rudy making a move on Tom, so Rudy was going to make that pass for the lead regardless. He just didn't know who was going to make it happen. Tom Rabo, caution to the win there. I don't know, like I would have made that because he needs points on Jensen, and he almost maybe bungled it a little bit. Thanks for Lynx backing it down there. Gave him a little bit of a breathing room there. Daniel, the big loser there, is now Noah going to make a move on Chris. Chris up to fifth.
Lovely.
Noah now going to take fifth position away from Chris, but yeah, Daniel was the big loser on that exchange. Him and Lynx were the big losers, and Rudy and Jensen were the big winners. But here comes Tom, going to try to answer back here. Going to try to make a move up the inside here. Going to try to outbreak the Mercedes driver. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3. Put Tom up the first, Rudy up the second. Daniel and Chris fighting for 6th and 7th here. Big lock up there from, I think, Luca in 8th. Won't hit anything, though. And we got still side-by-side Chris and Daniel here. Who's going to out-drag who? We got Daniel on the inside. We got Chris on the outside. Favors the in here. And Daniel is going to make the move. So Daniel to 6th, Chris down to 7th, and Luca still in 8th.
Oh,
we got Noah making a move on Lynx.
Down the inside line through the Delarocha chicane. These guys really do not respect each other out on track much tonight. Daniel threw his into fifth and Noah shoved off into the gravel there by Lynx. No respect. I like it. It's hard racing, but it's fair as well. Tom Rubble leads the way. Rudy in second, Jensen in third. Jensen now losing 8/10 per second on the back of Rudy, who is now on the back of Tom Rubble, but he's running high 7th gear and wants to remain in behind and just calm things down a little bit out on track, which I think is the best thing to do. Certainly, as Luca nearly gets forced off wide by Chris there. I think we caught the same thing there as Luca nearly got forced off by Chris in P7. Still remains in P8 now, and Dara's on the back of him in toward Parabolica. Rudy, though, is going to have another go perhaps at Tom Rubble. They're running literally line astern. It's like IndyCar rather than Formula 1. As Tom Rubble runs out wide, this should be Rudy's let through now into the lead of the race. He pulls now to the inside line. He'll get a really clean run in towards turn 1. I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Rubble starts drinking him to the right-hand side. Rudy, though, is having none of it, and he wants to drink him to the left-hand side, and he should get this move for the lead of the race, and he well and truly does. He pucks it in the middle of the apex, gets the job done, and Daniel dives it down the inside. Damn, Daniel tries to get down the inside line in towards turn number 1, didn't pull it off, and Lynx is through and he's into fourth. Goodness me, we can't keep up. Rudy leads the way. Tom Rubble second, Jensen third, Lynx in fourth. This is the feature race, remember, not the sprint race.
Yeah, this is the feature. They're fighting like there's only 13 laps out of 5 laps. First of all, 2015 called they want their dated mean back. Secondly, hey, the Neymar, you missed so much right now. And third, it looks like it's getting a little bit spacey. Noah still in the back of Daniel here for 6th and 5th, respectively. Oh, Daniel goes a little square off exit. Noah going to try to make a move in the grass. I don't know why he thought that was going to work. Patience, my boy. Patience. You're not going to... Rome wasn't built in a day, but here comes Noah around the outside. Going to try to out-drag him, and it's successfully make it happen. So Noah almost put it in the gravel trap there. Luckily, we get the spot on Daniel. So the highest soft runner is Rudy. Daniel's the next highest in 5th. So it's basically a soft sandwich with Rabo, Jensen, and Lynx as the meat. But yeah, it looks like we're finally getting spaced out. Rudy making those softs happen. He's finally pulling away from Tom Rabo. Jensen currently in 3rd. And it looks like, well, I'm going to say we're spaced out. We still got Lynx, Daniel, and Noah fighting like it's over the last piece. 2 dogs fighting over the last peak of chicken. Or, sorry, 3 dogs fighting over the last peak of chicken as Rudy sets a fast lap of the race. But right now, Noah pulling away, latching the backs of Lynx. And I think we can finally take a breath here, at the very least, unless Luca decides to throw a move on Daniel.
I think Chalks is going to throw a move on Chris in towards turn number 1. He's on the outside line in towards the rest of Village chicane. And do you know what? If he doesn't go too deep here, this might be move on. And he collects him down in the inside line. Took too much speed into turn 2. And he collects Chris. If I was him, I'd probably be waiting up at that point. Just let him through. Let it be dealt with on track. That one will go to the stewards. But Ewan is on the inside line in towards the Delarocha chicane. He's got so much ERS to burn as well. Down the inside line goes the Alfa Romeo on the Ferrari. Shoves him off slightly and gets shoved into the gravel. Chalk is there in 11, not having any of it here tonight. Ewan there in 12, Chris in 13. They just need to calm down now out on track. I think the fun's over. Let's get serious. Rudy out on top. Tom Rubble there in 2nd, Jensen 3rd, and Rudy on those set of softs might have taken him a few more laps than necessary, but he's now beginning to pull away from Tom. However, mediums from this point onwards will be coming into play.
First of all, back to that Chalkers incident right there. Expiring police officers of the world, that's how you do a pit maneuver. So make sure you learn that. Take notes, because it's going to be on the test at the end of this stream. But anyway, back to Rudy, though. I do worry those soft tires are going to kind of hit a cliff, because he wasn't a lot of battle in there for the first couple laps, and a little bit of wear is going to be probably there, a little bit of wear and tear. He's pulled away now. He's got some breathing room, but I do think he's going to hit a cliff 1 or 2 laps earlier than the other soft runners per se, because it's just how much he was battling in that dirty air. Right now, Jensen towing the back of Roberts. They're losing time, but they'll eventually get back because of the tire advantage. But right now, Rudy, I do feel like he's gonna cliff next lap or two, and maybe something to watch out for at the very least. And now it looks like Robbo, Jensen, and Lynx kind of sense that, and they're getting a little bit antsy to try to get back to Rudy.
Noah's on the back of Lynx coming through Della Roger, coming through cover, going into Della Roger, but he's not going to get the move done. And Lynx was so much later on the brakes other than Jensen right underneath the rear wing. Lynx is showing he's beaming full of confidence, I think, after that sprint race. Not only is he doing well here in this feature race, he did well in the sprint race, he's beaming full of confidence, and I don't blame him. He's all over the back of Jensen. Jensen looks a bit like he's just really hit a cliff, and he can't get out of that real rotten bitter look that he had in the sprint race, and that is why Jensen, obviously he latched onto the back of Tom Robbo now, but he doesn't look as quick as what we've necessarily seen. Advantage with Tom Robbo, advantage though could well be with Noah. He's on the back of Lynx, who just lose a bit of time now coming out of Ascari, lets Daniel and Luca into play in this as well, but really 2.2 seconds has gained 7/10 the last 2 laps around as Chris is round coming through Ascari. I think he's got caught in the outside curb there, and he's retired out on track from the session as Noah nearly loses that coming out of Parabolica. I'm not sure if Chris has actually crashed it into the wall. If he has, it's off track. Jensen, though, is going to go for Tom Robbo. Into second position he goes. Crucial, but he's not going to be outscoring him in terms of the championship as many points as what he needs. So Jensen there into second. Tom Robbo there in third. Everyone filters through and behind. Chris has retired that out on track and see the car moving to an off point on track. So that is unfortunate for him. But again, it comes to this point where why the drivers actually retire out on track as Noah's right on the back of Lynx into the Della Roger chicane, tries to force the inside line. What a move this is by Noah. Beautiful stuff coming through the Della Roger chicane. Lynx gave him all the room that necessarily need as Luca is on the wall in the background, but Noah threw in his interfold. Absolutely sublime that move on the brakes. Luca on the wall. I think he's got left side end plate damage on the car, but Rudy leads. Jensen second, Tom Robbo in third, Noah in fourth. That was an absolute master stroke of a move. Beautiful stuff.
If Luca does have damage, it's very minor because he's got both end plates on the car, but obviously I don't got a good enough view at it, so only time will tell that. Oh, I just saw spin Rudy around. It is Rudy. I thought I saw Mercedes spinning, and that leader spun out. He has lost it going into a Ascari, and that is a spicy pepper to see on the racing surface there, at a point there. But yeah, Jensen's going to take the lead. Robbo in second, Noah in third. He just got over-aggressive on those curbs, and he made a very, very slight mistake and ended up costing him an Ascari. He luckily not hit anything, but yeah, mistakes. He's getting dodged, and now he's down to 8th as Luke is in for 9th.
Yeah, Luca must have had that left side end plate damage on the car or side pod damage. He might retire that in the pit lane if he has, but Jensen now leads the way. Tom Robbo in second. Still not enough for Jensen to wrap up the championship. He's only gaining that 5 points back. That obviously, the sprint race, obviously, he brought him in. And that's why Tom Robbo gained that 5 points in the sprint race. Jensen, though, gaining 5 points again. It's going to go back out to 24 points at this stage in the race. Nobody, by the way, has picked up a 3-second penalty. Luca's good to see it's continuing on. I think it's just for a pure left side end plate change over. So he has lost a bit of time, obviously, in the pit stops. But Luca into the pit lane. Center medium's going on, and he's continuing on, which is very good to see. Tom Robbo on the back of Jensen, though, on the run down in towards the Ascari chicane once again, will remain in second position. Noah looks really buoyed, I think, by that move, and the FER man, former IFR man, is now on the back, obviously, of Tom Robbo, a former IFR man now, Pernal racing driver, and then you've got a VSR man, as we've actually got 3 wide! Ewan gets the job done on Chalkers and Fleddy. I just caught that at the right point. That was absolute insanity. Into the Ascari chicane. Ewan there and into 9th. Fleddy's not happy with that at all, and I don't blame him, but 3 wide through Ascari, and Ewan gets the job done on both of them. He's thrown his into 9th. I didn't catch that fully. There might have been contact involved in that move, but Ewan threw his into 9th. What I saw there was just masterful, and Tom Robbo now on the back of Jensen. This is going to be a masterful move down the inside and towards turn number 1. Jensen's going to hold the outside line, but Tom Robbo's through, and he's into the lead of this race. And once again, this race has just gone from 0 to 100 as Chalkers goes around the outside of Ewan in towards turn number 1. Cut off at the pass through turn number 2. This is Fleddy's chance as well to get back at them both, and Ewan doesn't want to come across on Chalkers. They don't want to get involved in contact, but Fleddy remains there in P10 as well. Oh, we need a breather again. Goodness me.
Yeah, that was very of a interesting moment there at the very least. And it looks like it's going to get a little bit spicy now because the tires are starting to come back in the light because we do got Noah still making those softs work, and he's hounding the back of Jensen and Robbo. Then you got Lynx there in 4th, Daniel in 5th, so still a lot to play for at the very least. Robbo and Jensen are going to fight for tooth and nail. Robbo has to finish ahead of Jensen. But his main threat there was Rudy, who could have maybe helped put Jensen maybe one more spot down and get him 10 instead of 5. He needs someone to kind of step up right now. Maybe Noah's the driver, maybe Lynx, maybe Daniel. But he needs that driver to be the one to kind of put a buffer between Jensen and Robbo and give him a few extra points. Because right now, 5 is going to shrink the gap from 19 to 14. And I think the fastest lap's in Rudy's camp right now. But that obviously will change when pit stops happen. But at the very least, it's 5. And 14's good, but 14... it would be a lot better if it was 9 instead of 14. As we do see Daniel first off for the pit here on lap 9, going on 10. And I'm assuming Noah may follow him in lap 2 as Jensen makes a move on Robbo.
He goes down the inside line through the rest of the chicane, gets the job done. He's into the lead once again. And this is the level of respect that both of these have. They're just chopping and changing positions. No one behind. He's not over-exaggerating those tyres at all. Those softs are going to be very fresh come the middle point of this race. And I would not be surprised if Noah, when these medium runners come in, Noah's tyres are pretty much on the same point as what these are ahead. They're blistering. Don't get me wrong. They're blistering. But Noah, I think, has managed his tyres a lot better than what Jensen and Tom Robbo has, because they've been pushing each other into mistakes, into moves, and that is why Noah is just sitting back, relaxing in third position and thinking, if you two make a little bit of contact, I'm here to pick up all the pieces. Lynx as well, in fourth position.
I would counter that point because I saw Noah carve him through the field. He was going aggressive. We saw those moves he tried to make on not Chalkers, Daniel, early in the race. I think his tire is going to be a little bit closer to Robbo Jensen. I'll agree on that point because it's still at the fall. It's not that bad. But I do think that he's really pushed those tires to the limit because we saw how aggressive he was trying to carve for that field. So I don't think they're as good as you're saying they are. But to each his own at the very least. We'll see if Noah follows Daniel's strategy in here. No, will not. So he thinks he's still confident he can keep going. And he's going to get a good toe on Robbo. So Noah's right now Jensen's best friend as he's going to get a good toe on the inside. And he's going to get one. Can he get the other? And he will. He'll get both. Can he now outbreak himself, though? I think Jensen's going to try to back that plate. It's a feel off by Jensen, but be a beautiful move by Noah there. Jensen a second, Robbo a third, Lynx and Darren Smith also there, sensing the pieces there. And now Noah, the FDR man, in the lead, the VSR man in second, Robbo in third.
And Noah's going for it. Noah wants to try and split them out of slipstream range here. He's there, 4/10 clear. Noah has now got the pace on those softs. If he hasn't overdone them, Jensen is losing time. Noah has not overdone these tyres at all. And so far, so good for Noah as he now tries to make an early escape for glory. Halfway through the race here in Monza, Noah leads the way. Jensen second. Tom Robbo, though, I think made a mistake. Just coming through Lesnar 1 there. And now Lynx is right on the back of him, running down the Curva del Serralio in towards Ascari. But Noah leads the way. Jensen there in second. Tom Robbo in third. The only thing that brings Noah back is this good old DRS train, and that is the only thing that's going to affect him. Through the corners, though, he's getting so much time. He's only 9/10 clear, and that is slipstream range around here. So Noah's nearly gapped Jensen out to slipstream range. I wonder, though, if Noah's going to think about coming in the pit lane this lap around, because if I was him, I'd be going undercut right now. He takes a little bit of a thinner line, and he's coming in. Noah has judged that to absolute perfection. He's into the pit lane. Mediums are going to obviously be extending on. Noah, with that double move down turn 1, that might have been the move that's just won him the race.
I don't know if I go that far yet, but it's definitely going to put him in a good spot here. But obviously, we just saw what happened with Rudy 8 laps ago. So, actually, not 8 laps, 6 laps ago. But the thing's still on point there that if he makes a mistake on those soft top medium runners, or if he pushes too hard, he may kind of cost himself there. So, right now, Noah's still advantage here at the very least, and he's going to come out, I think, around Rudy and Daniel here. Oh, yeah, he'll have clean air, but he's going to get hounded a bit by Rudy and Daniel, at the very least, coming in the first sector. But yeah, he'll be just ahead of him. So yeah, he'll have clean circuit here. So he may end up pulling a Luca in the sprint race here and make it work. We got Chalkers hand in the back of Ewan here as well. Could maybe see something happen sooner rather than later with DRS. I'll have to keep an eye on that as it plays out. But yeah, top 4 is Jensen, Tom, Lynx, Dargan Smith, Metzi C, all in a bubble. And right now, they're kind of pulling each other around here. So I think Tom kind of poked out there to see if he could make something happen. Maybe keep Jensen honest. But yeah, DRS is going to help them, but at the same time, being in this dirty area is going to hurt them as well.
Yeah, it is going to hurt him. But Noah, if Jensen, Tom Robbo, Lynx, I'm expecting them to come in around lap 18, lap 19. If that is the case and Noah gains time, Noah could potentially be around 5 seconds, 6 seconds ahead of Jensen and Tom Robbo, because these guys are going to battle. They're going for that overcut strategy. Overcut can be quite potent as well as round here as well, but it all depends on how Noah has got that pace on those set of mediums, as Tom's on the back of Jensen, doesn't want to be entertained in towards turn number 1, but Chalkers is, though, as Ewan nearly forced them towards the pit wall, and Freddie's going to have a really good run at them both in towards turn number 1, but Chalkers should have this move, and Chalkers is through and he's into P6. Ewan there in 7th, Fleddy there in 8th. Ewan nearly goes into the back of Chalkers down and towards turn 1. But just back to my point there, if Noah gains that time, so far he hasn't gained anything, because he's getting hounded by Rudy as well, in towards turn number 1. This is the worst point for Noah to be. He's in a bit of no man's land. If he had a car ahead of him, it would have absolutely gained. But Noah is only gaining a few tenths of a second. That is not enough. He should ideally be 5 or 6 seconds ahead when these guys obviously transition to their set of soft compound tyre. But set of softs obviously are going to be a lot quicker at the end of this race. So Jensen, Tom Rubble, Lynx probably have got this race between themselves.
Yeah, they're going to have a good fight here at the very least. Lynxos, they're keeping them honest, so I wouldn't count Lynx out yet. On same strategy, on same tires, Dark Smith as well. As long as they can stay in DRS range, it could be a little bit of a 4 in the side, so I won't call them out yet right now, because I already made one bad prediction about Lynx. I ain't going to make a second one. But we're going to see what happens here. Obviously, Robbo's going to get a good tow here. 95% ERS for Robbo. Jensen only at 63 and 66. As Jensen's going to use ERS, they're trying to maybe juke out Tom a little bit. I think someone in the background is pitting. It is going to be MedTC, and he speeds in the pit lane. Here comes Tom on the inside. He'll make the pass work. Put Tom up the first. Jensen down the second. And Tom did use the ERS to make that happen, but now Tom in first, Jensen second, Lynx in third, and maybe it's time for the medium runners here to come in, but we know Tom and Jensen love to go long on the tires, so it's not going to be at least 4 or 5 laps before to see them come in.
Yeah, Chalkers Looney's into 5th as well, repassing Ewan down towards turn number 1. That's the bit of the yo-yo effect, I think, going on between them both. MedTC, though, in on a set of soft compounded tyres. Rudy has gone for Noah, though, in towards turn number 1, gets the job done, and Rudy Stooney's into 8th. That is crucial. Rudy's now got the pace over Noah. Noah, though, this is perfect for him. Rudy's now got the pace. He can be dragged along by Rudy. Noah's got a really good chance. And do you know what? I wouldn't even rule out Rudy in this race either, because Rudy and Noah and Daniel are all coming back into contention in this race. The further that these guys on the side of mediums who haven't pitted in go on, the more chance that Rudy, Noah, Daniel are going to be in the mix come the end of the race.
Yeah, they're going to be in the mix definitely for sure here, and they're definitely going to keep it honest here at the very least, and definitely be in a very, very mixy battle. Anyway, yeah, we're going to see, again, MedTC also going for the undercut here. He's behind Daniel and Noah, though, and Rudy's. It looks like Noah is going to actually use Rudy's a bit of a toe here and make it work. But yeah, in is Tom Robo, in Jensen is, Lynx in as well, Dargan Smith in, almost everyone coming in. I'm assuming Chalkers will follow suit here along with Ewan and Fleddy. We'll see if they all take the hard right. 2 out of 3 will, but Fleddy will stay out because he doesn't want to be double stacked. So Fleddy will inherit the lead. And now the question mark is, can Noah get some time here and gain? Because he does get some toe from Rudy here. And we'll see how close he can get to this battle here. Keep an eye on the right of your screen. And it's going to be, he's out by way ahead. Him and Rudy are now 1-2, but they're
Noah's coming at Rudy.
He is. You're right. Noah's coming at Rudy. MedTC also going to get ahead of Jensen. So bit of a right now, MedTC's kind of a 4 in Jensen's side because MedTC's sandwiched between Robbo and Jensen. So MedTC's going to probably have to let Jensen go sooner rather than later. But Robbo's going to have a bit of a train ahead of him. But top 3 all good to go to head, and I think at the very least they're good to go to the end. So yeah, they're going to have to pass them on track.
They will have to pass them on track, and that means we're going to see a lot of overtakes in the second half of the race as well, which is going to be to absolutely my delight. However, it's not to Noah's delight, and certainly not to Rudy or Daniel's delight either. Look at where the soft train is. They're right on the back of them. That 5 seconds I was talking about, possibly gaining, absolutely eroded away. They didn't gain enough time. They were battling, and they didn't gain enough time as Tom Rubble now gains on Daniel down the inside line, in towards Ascari, and Daniel just backs off. So Tom Rubble through, and he's into 4th, puts now a car between himself and a medium car between himself, and now he's going to get the run on Noah because Noah made a mistake coming out of Ascari. Tom Rubble pulls to the inside line in toward Parabolica. I think he'll back this off though in toward Parabolica just to get this DRS. In fact, you know what? He doesn't listen. Down the inside line, gets the job done, and Jensen is going right around the outside of MedTC in the background as well. He's on the back of Daniel and possibly going to be kept in a bit of a pocket as well. But here comes Tom Rubble on the back of Rudy. Look at the 3 white scenario in the background as well because that is MedTC, Daniel and Jensen all going side by side. And now we've got another 3 white snow perhaps in towards turn 1 in front as Tom Rubble leads, and look at Jensen around the outside. Jensen around, caught by Daniel, I think, involved in that contact as well. So Lynx
I think it was Dargan.
it was Daniel.
Dargan.
It was an Alfa Romeo, I think.
Okay, what's Daniel? Oh, Jensen, that's not what he wanted to see. He just got sent to Narnia. He's luckily not too far back of the train here, so it's at 3 seconds, so he could maybe get back, but that is what Tom Ravo wanted to see right there. The luck happening is now Daniel going to fall down to 7 for 6 for Darwin Smith. So right now, Tom Ravo, if he could run away, this is what he wants to see. It's all gone wrong for Jensen. God. There's still 11 laps left. He can reel it back, but that right now has just brought this race to Brazil a lot more closer if Rabo can hold and Jensen holds. But let's not count our chickens yet before they hatch. But bad timing for Jensen there. We got Metisi on the back of Noah, Rudy in second. And we may see Metisi make a lunge on the medium runners here next. And Jensen gets 3 just to kick him in the teeth a little bit more. Just make it hard. And he's retired.
Jensen has crashed through Ascari. He's out through Ascari. No points for the championship leader. Noah's been overtaken by MedTC. It's off track, so I think there's going to be no safety car or VSC in this. But Tom Robbo leads the way. Rudy in second. Tom Robbo is going to take the championship lead. No matter what happens here tonight, as he needs to finish.
He's left too.
As long as he finishes second or third in this race, MedTC's got through on Noah once again and towards turn number 1. But as long as Tom Robbo finishes second or third, he can finish first as well, as Ewan has retired at the final corner, and that's a safety car. It's a safety car. Oh, out on track. What do the guys do now, though?
Yeah, because if you're a medium runner like Rudy, you're pitting. If you're Rudy, Noah, you're pitting. You want those fresh tires at the end. But if you're Robbo and MedTC, your tires should be still good, so if I'm Luca or Daniel, I'm pitting. If I'm Dargan Smith or Lynx, I'm staying out. If I'm Noah, I'm pitting. If I'm Rudy, I'm pitting. If I'm MedTC and Robbo, I'm staying out. But Robbo, he's in a kind of a catch-22 here, because right now, his main rival crashed out. No points. Whatever he gets, he gains. He's 19 back right now. And as long as he finishes second or third, he takes the lead. Second, he takes the lead. Third, he'll be 1 point back. In front. He is a point in front. And even if he finishes 4th or 5th, that's 4th would be 20, 30, 25, 20, 15. That'd only be about 6 points, if I'm not mistaken, back? No, 5, 6, 19, 18, 17, 16, 4 points. And that would be a wins race. So he doesn't have to be overly aggressive here. And he just saw what happened to Jensen. He's not going to sail to prove the way. He's coming in. No, he's not. Fake me out. Rudy's staying out. MedTC in. Looks like the rest of the field is going to stay out. So I think that's kind of what Robbo wanted, because that gives a lot of buffer here. But right now, I don't want to be in Robbo's situation right now. Championship moments are made from these. And right now, he's got a bunch of ferocious lions sitting behind him. And he's the man wearing the steak vest. And he's trying to get away from the lions. And the championship glory can hold him here, but he needs to survive. And, oh boy, it may be a bit of a head-scratcher. But one more thing I want to say, Jensen's accident, even though different corner, reminds me of Mika Hakkinen in 2000, where he just crashed, and we may see Jensen's little avatar right there, off in the corner there, being a bit of a sad man, because it's just a horrific moment to happen when it looks so, just this whole weekend's been horrific for him.
Yeah, really, really horrific. And Jensen there, you have to feel sorry for him. He's the championship leader, and you have to show some form of human emotion towards him. We know what he is feeling at this point. I've been in this position before, in a championship lead, and I've DNF'd out of the race. But just remember, no matter how many points that Tom Robbo gains, Jensen has still got a chance to come back next week in Brazil. And Brazil is one of Jensen's better tracks compared to Tom, on pace and in terms of the race as well. So, Jensen, if you're listening to the stream, do not give up, my friend. You have bad races. No race is ever going to be 100% perfect. You're always going to have contacts. It's just racing at the end of the day. But still, we've got 8 laps to go. In this feature race, Tom Robbo, no matter how many points he gains, 1st, 2nd or 3rd will put him in the championship lead. 4th or 5th is ideally what he'd be hoping for, Jensen. And maybe Tom Robbo picks up a 3-second penalty. Everyone else stays clean and behind. Then they've got less than a 3-second gap. Tom Robbo drops down behind 3rd. And there, Jensen is still in the championship lead no matter what happens. There's still so many unknowns.
Tom Robbo does have 2 warnings, so keep that in mind. Robo does have 2 warnings, so if he does get 3, this is going to get spicy. I'm just looking at strategies running numbs here, and right now, Jensen wasn't the biggest fan of Rudy at the end of the sprint race. Rudy is his best friend. Noah's his best friend. Lynx is his best friend right now. The whole field is his best friend right now. He needs them to hold on and catch. Even Metisi, who just pitted, is his best friend. He needs everyone just to hound Tom. And remember what happened last week, a couple weeks ago at Imola, the other Italian track. After that incident with Bravo, I'm not saying incident with Tom spinning under rainy conditions, I'm not saying we thought his championship was over, but it was definitely going to be an uphill battle, and he needed some luck, and, well, Lady Luck maybe just fell in his lap, at least for now. Again, we won't count the chickens where they hatch, but everything could come back, so, yeah, Jensen, if you are listening, it's not over yet. Don't go to roost, because even if you finish first or second, things can happen. All you have to do is win next week, and the ball maybe changes. So, I know it's easier said than done, but do not panic. This is why you were champion last season, because you knew how to overcome adversity. You got a challenger here, and it's going to be, at the very least, unless Tom crashes out, it's going to be a very interesting race in Brazil next week.
Yeah, looking at the chat, by the way, in Discord, Daniel saying sorry, but there was not much more than I can do. Lynx apparently bumped into Daniel's rear end, which might have caused that concertina effect, therefore put Daniel into the back of Jensen, therefore Jensen spun. Safety car, though, is in this lap. Ewan also saying as well, he is blaming he's accidentally crashed into the pit wall after losing it, I think, on the outside curbs. He's gone into the pit wall there. I've seen that happen before. Ewan blaming the game more than anything else rather than his own crash for the safety car, which I like. He's not wanting to put the blame on himself. And I respect that entirely because I know how frustrating this game is. As Rudy has got a 5-second penalty for a collision with Tom Robbo.
Robbo didn't get anything for that. So, but that may get removed, but who knows. But, oh no!
I didn't see that. I did not see any contact with Tom Robbo. Look at him! He's gone in towards Parabolica, and look at the gap he's just gained. He's gained a second over Rudy coming out of Parabolica. Absolute insane restart by Tom. Rudy there in second. Noah in third. We're going to be back underway. MedTC can't overtake until Fleddy, but now we got Green Flag Racing, and they're going side by side in the background in towards turn number 1, and the Retophilia chicane, and Fleddy, I think, has just about got the legs down in towards turn number 1 to try and defeat MedTC. There's a McLaren diving it down the inside on that to Lynx on Noah, coming down through turn number 1, and he goes all the way around the outside by Lynx, and now Dara Smith is involved in this as well. Sorry, no, Lynx is on the back of Rudy, what I should say, as now Rudy's on the inside on the Curva Grande. Lynx going to be on the inside line for the Della Roger chicane. Rudy has to try and back this off, but he's boxed in, and Lynx gets the job done. He's into third, and Tom Robbo leads the way by 2.5 seconds. Exactly what you wanted from a Tom Robbo perspective, not what you wanted from a Jensen's perspective. Tom Robbo from that restart has just won this race.
The cheetah, I just say this, the cheetah just left the lions in the dust, as Tom Robbo is now 2.7 ahead of Noah, and even if he gets a 3, he would be okay at the very least, because remember, Robbo has fresher tires than Noah, so he's got to be careful, because he doesn't want to get that 3 and really tempt fate, but if he can get 3 clear, he gives himself a cushion. Now he's 3 clear, so Noah, Lynx, Doug Smith are all going to have tow range. I wonder if Rudy got maybe slight damage off that contact. Even though I didn't see anything, he may have just minor damage to itself. And it looks like he's okay at the very least, but yeah, just kicking the teeth moment for Rudy, as we do see something that you just caught something.
Luca and Fleddy side by side coming out of Parabolica. Fleddy just about holds the inside line to remain in that position. Luca there in 9th, but here comes Lynx on the back of Noah. Noah's now a sitting duck in towards turn number 1. Noah tries to come across on the right-hand side there, but Lynx just sends it down the inside line into Retophilia chicane. Job done, and Dara's been caught up, I think, by Chalkers. Yeah, Chalkers went into the back of Dara and spun Dara. Similar move to what we saw there with Daniel and Jensen involved in that incident as well. But Daniel and Luca are going side by side involved in this, so Dara out pretty much a contention. Rudy's going to let MTC through, I think. He must have damage on the car. He tries to defend off Fleddy, and Daniel now gets outdone by Luca. Beautiful move by Luca. He's into 8th. Daniel there remains in 9th. Dara there in P10 just hops over the curb. He absolutely just catapulted over the sausage curb, and that now brings it back into play. Tom Robbo leads the way. Lynx in second, Noah in third. And I'll remind you that was a little bit similar to what I did in a GT Sport race once around here. But still, Tom Robbo leads the way. Lynx in second, Noah in third. And we've got 5 laps to go after this one. This race is just mad.
Yeah, it's mad. It's gone topsy-turvy. It reminds me, again, like I said, the other Italian race we had on the calendar at Imola. Just topsy-turvy when a safety car came out late, and it just caused pandemonium. At least that race, though, settled down. I think we're still going to have a few fights here, because remember, MetTC's on fresh softs, and he's only 3.7 back. Highly unlikely he tows him down, but with DRS, he's going to get on the back of Chalker so he can make the move, but he's also, I think, got 3 in warnings, though. I'll quickly confirm that. Yes, he does. So a little bit of an uphill battle, but he's going to get around the Ferrari man here, going to make the move. Chalkers is going to definitely be the steer's room at the end of this race, at the very least in some capacity. Make the move. Up the 4th, MetTC goes. Now he's going to set his sights on Noah and Lynx, and maybe just try to hunt down Robbo for the end of this race, because it's only a 3-lap start advantage difference, but something can happen is further in the back. I think we got Daniel getting a little bit antsy on Luke and Rudy. Both Mercedes is under pressure by an Alfa Romeo, kind of like in real life with both us pressing Russell and Hamilton.
Yeah, Rudy there on a set of mediums. He doesn't look worse for wear. You think he's just trying to get to the end of this race.
That curb.
As Daniel, mounts the curb and nearly spun.
Just like a monster truck, just mounted that thing. He got some air. Sorry to cut you off, but he just went flying up there. I was just caught me off guard how much air he got there. But like it was a Jeep going over some rocks.
It was worse than F2, trust me. Simply Superman bounced over that curb and I thought he nearly got sent to the Italian border. Quite literally, that was that bad. Tom Rubble leads the way. Links in second, no in third. Métis in fourth. As Lucas nearly spun, coming out for Scari. Well recovered, my friend, and the German holds on to P8. But Darren now is going to have a run in toward Parabolic. He's not going to go for the move, but he will have DRS around this next lap. But 4 laps to go. Tom Rubble leads the way. 4 seconds. That's enough. Even if he gets a 3-second penalty, I think he's won. Links there in second, no in third. Métis is the bit of the unknown factor. Fleddy as well. He's got really good pace towards the end of this race as well. He's on a lap fresher than Chalkers. He's not going to lunge it from this far back in towards turn number 1. But Fleddy really impressing me. The second half of this race, Fleddy is now bouncing back from what has been a very disappointing race from his perspective.
Yeah, he is bouncing back. He kind of had that first sprint race. I think his mojo was kind of stolen by the other McLaren, but Lynx is just making it work here. So he is bouncing back. He's currently in 6th. Nope. Actually, he does have a 3-second time penalty, so if he gets around Chalkers, he may end up losing the spot anyway. But only time will tell, because we don't know if any penalties may be handled on the Chalkers. But anyway, back to the battle up front. We got Robbo just beating Lynx up. Lynx, again, I gotta take back what I said on Lynx. I said he was going to be a moving chicane, and he has proved me horribly wrong. So I am sorry, Lynx. I am apologizing right now on stream. I will not doubt you again for the rest of this season, because you made it work. As Métis is now hounding the back of Noah. Oh, Métis gets another snap. He is really struggling through a scar. It's the second time he's gone wide. And I do fear that he may end up going around if he's not careful. He's pushing hard to try to get on that podium, but if he spins it, it may all be for naught. And I don't know if Red Bull clinched the Constructors last round? Last in the sprint race? They did? Okay. Because if he were to go around and DNF, that would give McLaren a lot of whole points, but I don't know if it'd be enough. But yeah, we'll check that after stream. But Fleddy going to make a move on Chalkers here, possibly get towed on the back, going to go the inside, and the McLaren driver going to try to outbrake him, but get caught off by the Ferrari, and the Ferrari will keep 5th position at least for now. Yeah,
I think the gap, they basically need 56 points, I think it is, at the end. And I think it's more than 56 as Daniel is out of the race, coming through Curva Grande. And he's lost that, I think, on the curb. Fleddy side by side with Chalkers into the Della Rocha chicane. Tries to get the job done, the McLaren on the inside line. The Ferrari has absolutely none of that. And the Irishman shuts the door. Chalkers there in 6th position. Chalkers, I should say, is British, I should say. The Dutchman there in 6th and behind. I keep getting my nationalities mixed up with some of these guys. But honestly, Tom Rubble leads the way. Links in second, Noah in third, Métis in fourth, and Métis is hunting down Noah on the run down towards Ascari, but he's not going to get close enough with just 2 laps to go. No safety cars at this point as well, but Fleddy doesn't need that. Down the inside line, job done on Chalkers through. He waited, but he waited patiently and he got the job done. He soon he's into 5th as he lost it on the curb as well.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing hard through Ascari here. Métis going to try to fake the outside, back to the inside. Blinking light for Noah, blinking light for Métis. Almost all of them use their ERS, all to completion. No one has anything above 40 except for Luca. As Luca's going to make move on Chalkers. Chalkers stinking like a stone right now. And Luca could be on pace here for maybe, just maybe, a top 4 finish for the part-time driver. Just shows keep your head in the game because he was wrong way around a couple laps ago. Fleddy goes for a very defensive maneuver there. I'd argue low-key blocking. Chalker's going to sneak by as well. Oh, Noah making a move with Métis around the outside. Missed that battle. Métis going to make the move on Noah. So Métis to 3rd, Noah to 4th.
Noah's banging in the back.
Luca. Yeah, there was banging in the back.
Noah's battling back on the back of Métis. Métis nearly goes into him toward the Della Rocha chicane. He's down the inside line, but Métis outbreaks him. He's through and he's into 3rd. Nice job there by the Finn. Having a much better race. Red Bull are outscoring, I think, McLaren. McLaren's obviously picking up more points, but in terms of Métis, he's doing enough for the constructors at this point. It was a 70-odd point gap, I think, coming into after the sprint race, but Tom Rubble leads the way. The absolute assurity of Tom Robbo has looked absolutely sublime out on track. He has dominated this second half of the race. Obviously would have been different if Jensen didn't get involved in that collision. I guarantee you that. But Link's there in second, Mexici in third. Davis picked up a penalty further down the field. The penalties, by the way, going on to the final lap are Mexici 3, might be out of 6th or 7th position, potentially. Fleddy there on 3, Rudy on 5, and Dara there on 9. Rudy's penalty might get removed, possibly, at the end of the race. He'll have to wait and see. But Tom Robbo leads the way onto the final lap. Here comes Mexici, though, on the back. Luca sets the fastest lap of the race, and he's actually on the back of Noah, which is more immediately going to be the move in towards turn number 1 at the rescue of the chicane. Mexici absolutely centred on Lynx as well and towards turn 1. Luke on the outside line. Lynx backs off and actually nearly puts Luke in a bit of a pocket because Noah now has to try and fight him on the exit of the Curva Grande. Now Luca and Noah go side by side through Curva Grande. Lynx is on the back of MTC, but he's not going to get the move, and it is for a podium indeed, as Noah on the back nearly gets side-checked there by Luca. Luca's on the inside line, should have this move. Nice job by Luca. He's really looked to shoe it out on track tonight, the German, and he's through and he's into 4th with just half a lap to go.
Yeah, if they touch, Chalker's there to pick up the pieces. Can the Ferrari man get possibly on the podium? He sees it, but it's just slipping away here, and it could go wrong. Chalker's clips the grass. There's computer pressure from Fleddy. Yeah, that's probably it, unless Luca and Noah really send a move down to Ascari. We got back up to we got Medsey and Lynx. Lynx, though, probably just going to play it safe by Medsey. Doesn't have to force it. He wants that second position. He'll get that second position. We got Luca and Noah as well. It looks like it's all going to shake up unless we got Fleddy making a quick lunge on Chalkers for 7th, but it wouldn't, 6th, sorry. Wouldn't really matter at the end, though. As it goes through the last cup corner, Tom Robbo going to take the spot, and he's going to win the Italian GP and take the points lead heading into Brazil. Who would have predicted that after today? We got Medzici and Lynx coming across the line. Medzici will win the battle in second. Lynx will get second. Luca will get third. Noah gets 4th, and Chalkers gets 5th, and Fleddy got him, I think. But Chalkers gets it on points.
Yeah, Chalkers, I think, finished 5th. He was side by side with him across the line, so Chalkers outdone Fleddy in terms of the position, but I think that's 5th position, and Fleddy drops down to 7th as a result of penalties, and he stays in that position. Out on track, what a wild and wacky race, but to the top step of the podium, it is Tom Robbo, and he takes the championship lead going into the final round in TTML F1 in Brazil. Brazil is going to be an absolute cracker, I think, in terms of the racing. Hopefully everyone turns up. Hopefully Jensen as well calms down from his race this week, and we bring that duel in the South American catacombs, or whatever you like to call it. Catacombs really isn't the best word, but it is a brilliant win from Tom, France. And he takes the race win.
Yeah, catacombs are more France, but yeah, Brazil is going to be very interesting indeed. Tomo wins the race, and that was a fast run, and he's going to take the lead. Link second, Luca in third, part-time driver, good for the German there. No, 4th, Chalker 5th, Medzici 6th. I don't think it's going to be enough points for McLaren to make lunge for the constructors. I think Red Bull won. It's at least some consolation for Jensen, but yeah, that was just... I need to either smoke, or I need to lie down, or I need a drink. I don't know what I need, but I need something after those last 2 rounds. I need something, at the very least.
Oh, Tom Robbo wins, though, from Lynx in second. Luca in third. I think it was one of his first races of the season as well, and he's on the podium. Really good drive, and he picked up the fastest lap point as well. So congratulations to Luca on that. Noah there in fourth. Drove really, really well, I think, Noah, even with that medium compound tyre going against him. Chalkers there in fifth, Medzici in sixth, Fleddy in seventh, Rudy there in eighth, Dara there in ninth. Rudy and Lynx are going to be quite interesting as well for the championship for third position. Dara there in ninth. Daniel ran off the top 10, however, only 9 finished because Daniel didn't get to the end of the race. Ewan, Jensen, and Chris all DNFing. Tom Robbo wins though, Lynx in second, Luke in third. Shall we try and get the top 3 in?
I had the first 2. I had to add Tom to his new account, so I have to add him as a friend real fast, and I will add him right now as we speak. So give me 1 more second on that, and the other 2 can join anytime they wish. Yeah, they've been added. We'll wait for them to join. But yeah, just adding them as we speak. So let me go over that. Boom, boom, boom. All right, he's been added. I think Tom Robbo's definitely coming. Not 100% about Lynx and Luca, though.
Yeah, Jensen, by the way, in the chat, a bit peed off, let's just say, in terms of the driving standards here tonight. I've got to agree. I mean, driving standards weren't the best, but they were better than F2 or F4 by an absolute country mile, because that was I think, a really good race. It was certainly on the edge of our seat sort of action, and, of course, we can speak to the man who finished in P1, and that is Tom Robbo. And Tom, even though that race was looking a bit on tenterhooks at points, you take the race win here and take the championship lead. You must be feeling really happy with that, despite what happened with Jensen.
Oh, audio share, audio share, audio share, audio share. We got no mic, so Tom, you're going to want to make sure you turn your audio share on. Sorry to cut you off. Because we don't want to just sit here in silence while you pantomime.
Alright, it should be on now.
Well, you keep talking, I'll listen real fast for you, so keep going.
Yeah, I think me and Jens would have had a good battle after the safety car, but obviously he crashed beforehand. I don't really know what happened. I think it was desync or something happened. I did hear Noah say that Lynx was desynced to someone because he kept killing him on like earlier on in the race, but yeah, I might have got the DRS gap with that train and getting the 2 overtakes I did on Noah and Rudy and Daniel. But yeah, it's quite unfortunate that Jensen that happened. Yeah, so it's good for me in the terms of the championship. Going on to the next round, it's gonna be a lot closer than what I thought it would have been, and hopefully it just comes out to whoever wins next week. But
just let you know your audio is good now, so we're all good.
So.
Fantastic. Talk us through that safety car restart, though, because you were absolutely electric off that safety car restart. And I said in commentary that was what won you the race.
Well, I don't know. It's a tactic, yeah. Because people, I feel like people think because you can't control your throttle, I'd wait until the safety car was like in the pits. But I went right before, so I think I caught Rudy quite off guard, and maybe he was a bit distracted by the penalty that he got given as well, which helped me a lot. Also, I'm on the soft tyres, so I'm obviously going to get better traction, and it was easier to keep my tyres hot with the being on softs and going dead slow on the restart. So yeah, it was all thought out and it worked out in the end, so it was crucial.
Yeah, all worked out in the end. I think from the sprint race, it was 19 points you had of a disadvantage to Jensen. You've got an 11-point lead going into the final race of the season. Is Brazil one of the favourite tracks that you have on this game, or do you feel it might favour your rival?
I think me and Jensen are quite similar around Brazil. We've had good races around there in the past. He's had good performances there as well. I think he has the edge on the tyre perspective. He's very good, Jensen, at keeping his tyres on good temps and using high tyre pressures to have less tyre wear. So it'll be a good race again. But Brazil's another track where it's dead easy to invalidate in the short quali. So hopefully he can have a good race. But I think it's quite close on pace. I don't know how quick Rudy is around there as well. But yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute thriller, I'm sure, in Brazil. Pepsi, any questions?
I guess the only thing is now I got one, is that considering that now you are the championship leader, bearing any penalties or stewards moves or whatever, presumably you will still be the championship leader regardless. I do throw out one question, is that now that you're the championship leader, how is that going to affect your strategy going to Brazil? Because instead of having to be down and trying to chase up, now you are the leader. You are control your own fate. What's that going to change for you going into Brazil, if anything?
Well, I don't like sitting back, so I won't sit in P2 knowing that if Jensen wins and I get P2, I'll have the points gap. But I won't be sending no mad Verstappen bombs into turn 4, going off the track and stuff. I won't be majorly aggressive. I'll just hopefully fight for the win, and if I can get the win, I'll take it. But yeah, no.
So no change to strategy.
You're just gonna means necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're just going to do what you have to do to try to win. That's good to see. James, you got anything else you want to
add? Nothing else from me. Just best of luck, obviously, for next week, and you can go and enjoy your evening.
Cheers, lads.
Very welcome indeed. We'll now speak to the man who purred his way into P2. Of course, it was Lynx. And Lynx, first of all, let's talk us through that sprint race, because I got up to lap 10, and I was seeing the guys out on track continuing, and I was thinking, it's getting cloudy, it's going to rain. You transition onto that set of inters, final lap of the race. It was an absolute stroke of genius. Finishing second position in the sprint race, you must feel very, very happy with that.
Yeah, the sprint race was crazy. Yeah, the one-shot qualifying was bad. I clipped the curb in turn 1, so I lost all the lap time there. So then we saw the rain, obviously, on the dash that you get before the race. So my plan was to always just stay out and risk it, because I'm already P7, so there's not much I'm going to lose. And then it was getting cloudy around lap 10, like you said. I was constantly telling Jeff. And then that virtual came out, and then everyone in front of me pitted. I was like, nah, I'm just going to stay out and just risk it. And it came at the absolute perfect time. You know, it was the lap before when you need to pit, or else I would be disqualified. And in the final corner, the raindrops hit the track. So that's when you know it's into time. So I just got in there, and then I got a bit lucky with Dara, and I think it was Noah who crashed a bit in turn 4. So I was able to just sweep through there. Got Noah into the second. There's Mo, and then yeah, got Rudy and Jensen, and there was a Tom. Maybe if I had one more corner, I probably would have got him as well. But yeah, you know, that was proper fun. It was all very lucky as well.
Yeah, really lucky, but really fun, definitely. And you seemed buoyed, I think, by the performance in the sprint race, because you came alive once again in the feature race. Talk us through that one, because again, it was a very astute performance.
I mean, yeah, the start was good. I got first, and that's how I knew I was probably going to stay in the lead group if I got into the lead. Because if not, Tom would probably just drop me. So yeah, I got that, and then it all got a bit crazy. You know, I lost 3 positions magically, like going 3 wide into turn 4, which was quite annoying. But then I was able to just stick with them. You know, being on a pad, it's proper tough around here to like get the turn-ins right and everything. So I was just holding back a little bit, trying to avoid penalties. And then obviously I was desynced with Daniel, which I never knew until Jensen spun, which is unfortunate. You know, I think we're both coming out the pits, and Daniel must have come in between us, but obviously I can't see him. He's like stuck on a Skyriff on my screen. And then yeah, then I see Jensen spinning. So, and then I'm seeing in the Discord that, you know, I hit Daniel and everything, so obviously that's not ideal. But then after that, it was just, you know, after the safety car, get past the 2 medium runners and try and break away, but Noah made me use a lot of ERS, so I couldn't break away. So it was more just, you know, just maximise the rest of the track and see what I can do on the start finish. And yeah, I got P2, so I'll take it. It's a good result.
Yeah, really good result as well. I need to do the maths here for P3 in the championship, because you've obviously closed up on Rudy as a result. I've got the wrong thing up. Hang on, give me a second. In terms of the standings, you were 3rd coming into the championship already, and you had a 14-point gap over Rudy. And obviously those positions here tonight, finishing 2nd in both the sprint and the feature race, you are now, I would say, pretty assured on for P3. So going into next week in Brazil, how do you think you're going to get on around there? Is it a track that you like?
Yeah, no, I love Brazil. It's, we can actually qualify this time, so no more bottles hopefully. And then yeah, I'm just going to send it last race, see what I can do, have some fun.
Don't blame you. Don't blame you at all. Pepsi, any questions?
I was going to ask about Brazil, but I think I kind of... Actually, I'll ask one thing. With Brazil going to be the last race of the season, and it's going to probably be, unless you have any other leagues you're in, probably one of the last races you'll do the swan song of F1 2021. I guess my opinion is how has F1 2021 been treating you so far this year's campaign? You've liked it, or do you wish 2020 was a bit better?
I mean, this game was much better than last game. The last game I only got into league racing at the end of the game cycle. So this game was my first full one, and yeah, no, I've enjoyed it. Done well.
Fair enough. Good to see people enjoying things.
Got no assists. Got pretty decent pace in it now. Just next game, I want to proper be up there. I want to be a battle for the wins every single time.
Fair enough, and maybe we will see that happening. James, anything else like that?
Nothing apart from Lynx is just going to be a sweat on the next game, which I think I totally commend, yes, to be honest, because I think we're all doing that at the start of the new game. Lynx, go and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, cheers, lads.
Very welcome indeed, and we can speak to the man who finished in P3 as well. It is, of course, Luca. And Luca, you qualified. He has joined, yeah, I believe he's here. Luca, you here?
Yeah, he's here. He's in the party.
He is, I've heard him. There we go. Yeah, so Luca finishing in P3. Feature race there, better than obviously your sprint race, because you qualified in P10 for sprint qualifying. Talk us through the feature race, because that was crazy, and you made up some really good progress through that race.
Yeah, first of all, congrats to Lynx and to Ro. And my English isn't the best, so I try my best. The sprint race was quite good, I think. I can't remember what happened, but I had a 5-second time penalty, and then I got an incident with Derek, I think, and yeah, I had 11 seconds, and so the race was over. And thankfully, I had a better. What does it mean? What does it call? It's the. Can you help me?
I don't. I didn't.
I'm lost. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's
race,
fine.
Yeah, the main race. So the main
Oh,
race
featured
was,
race.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. The feature race wasn't that good.
Feature race wasn't that good, even though it was a P3
you got
finish.
A podium.
But yeah, talk us through obviously that safety car restart because. Go ahead.
Do you mean the 50% race or the 25%?
No,
race?
sprint
25%.
race was the one where you finished in the bad. That was a sprint
In
race, the
P10,
one where you
yeah.
finished 9th. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the
And then
actual
obviously
race was
finished.
quite good.
Yeah, I think feature race was certainly better than the sprint race, that's for sure. And obviously, talk us to that safety car restart because you were, I think, 5th or 6th in that queue, if I'm not mistaken. Were you feeling that you were going to have a podium here tonight? Because it looked to me as if you probably weren't on for it until the final couple of laps.
I think I was P10 and I had, yeah, I managed it quite well because they were fighting each other and yeah, I used the gap to go through and yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, definitely worked out indeed, which was really impressive, obviously. Pepsi, any questions?
I'll just say, if you are here for Brazil next week, what are your thoughts on the Brazilian track? Do you think you'll be strong there?
I don't know really. I also don't know if I can drive because I have to work on Sundays.
Oh.
And yeah, I don't know if I can.
Okay. But anyway, regardless, on your opinion on Brazil, I guess you just don't really know. Okay, fair enough.
I
okay,
can add something
fair
if
enough.
you want.
I mean, if you want anything, go ahead. You want to say anything about Brazil,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Here, it's a quite nice track, to be honest. I think I have quite good pace around there, but yeah, as I said, I don't know if I can drive, so yeah, let's see.
Fair enough. James, anything else you like that?
Nothing else from me. Luca, go and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, cheers.
Very welcome indeed, and that rounds us off our interviews very nicely indeed. Congratulations, of course, to Tom on the race win, and congratulations to Lynx and to Luca on the podium here tonight. And much appreciated, of course, for the interviews as always. Before we get obviously into our normal schedule, we have announced today that we are going to be, obviously, doing the Great Ormond Street Hospital charity event. This is in a couple of weeks' time. It is on a Sunday night, 5th of June 2022. I'm absolutely delighted to be involved in the commentary. I'm probably going to be doing the final 2 races, I believe, in terms of that. But of course, anything, we've got 4 leagues that are going to be competing in the event. That is One Hub Racing, TTML obviously, we've got Fantari Racing League, which I'm a part of, and obviously League of Europe as well. So leagues that I'm all a part of, apart from One Hub, are going to be obviously participating in that event. And obviously it's a very close charity to our heart, because obviously Pariah, his sister, obviously went there for treatment in Great Ormond Street Hospital. It's a fantastic charity, and we cannot wait to get involved in that as well. And looking through actually what we've got in terms of the schedule, can I announce the schedule? Am I allowed to do that?
I don't know. I don't have any power in this, so I can't confirm or deny anything. I
Well,
might try
I
to
may
get
as well.
involved in it if I can, but I don't know. But I got no power, so do what you wish, James.
I may as well, because it's already been announced. 5 o'clock, it is going to be TTML versus One Hub. Luke Etheridge and Pariah are going to be taking to the action for that one. And then it's Spa, 5:35, so they're 25% races, by the way. LOE versus FRL, Luke Etheridge and Pariah doing you that one. And then 10 past 6 UK time, Jessica Ball and Evil Dragon taking you through the FRL versus One Hub battle,
the
so that's
lovebirds.
going to be quite interesting. That is around Jeddah. Sao Paulo is quarter to 7, LOE versus TTML. That'll be a good race, I think. Jessica Ball and Evil Dragon take you to that one. And then, as I've already alluded to there, the final two races are 20 past 7 UK time and 5 to 8 UK time around Spielberg in Austria and around the Kia circuit in Bahrain. TTML versus FRL for the first one, and then One Hub versus LOE for the second one. There's only one more space in terms of the commentary, and that's with me. So if anybody wants to jump in and do that, Pepsi,
I'm already here on Sundays.
I'll take you in. There you go. We could do a TTML versus FRL and One Hub versus LOE. We'll do both of those races, and it'll be a great night. Obviously, raising money for a very good charity as well. And that marks us off, I think, in terms of tonight. Obviously, I'll go through the schedule in just a second.
Driver of the day. Yeah, we got to do driver of the day, remember?
That's what I was coming on to. Who is your driver of the day?
I mean, I don't think this is a hard question. The man won both races. It's got to be Tom. He took over the championship lead. I feel like it'd be criminal if I said anyone else. No offense to Lynx, who had a great drive in both races as well, getting 2 seconds, but you can't go against the man, like I just said on broadcast, the man that was a cheetah going against a bunch of lions on that last safety car restart. So, yeah, Tom, easy. Sorry,
Ivan said as well in the chat he can help with comms if needed, so we'll bear that in mind if we need a reserve commentator for the event. And yeah, I've got to agree, Tom definitely driver of the day from my perspective as well. Might seem like the obvious choice, and we might have given them so many driver of the days that we can't count on both of our hands, but obviously it's well deserved, and I think that safety car restart just sealed it for me. Absolutely blew the field apart, and obviously takes the championship lead into next week as well. And speaking of next week, we've got an absolute action-packed week for you, both on League Racing TV and here on the Masters League channel on Twitch. So, with the schedule to come, it is, of course, Wednesday night is EML. I'm going to be taking you through the action, of course, Premier. That's at 8:30 UK time. Luke Etheridge and Aidan Carter take you through the action for F1. Michael Edwards, by the way, joining me alongside on the commentary box for Premier. And League 1, of course, going to be covered on Twitch, and that is at 7 PM UK time. League 2, exactly the same, 7 PM UK time, and that is, of course, on YouTube as well. That is Graham Chappell and Storm taking to the action for that. TTML F2 and F3 championships are already decided there, so it's a very fun final race in Brazil for the guys. Still got the championships to decide, certainly the position to decide on the championship further down the field for second and third and for the likes, so that's going to be quite interesting. Friday, of course, TTML F4. I'm once again back in the commentary box. I think Buck is going to be joining me alongside in the commentary box. If not, it will be Storm, because One Hub, I believe, have completed their season. And also, on Saturday night is VRS, if you do want to catch that as well, and also the TTG PC Invitational. And then we get on to Sunday night, of course, which is TTML F1, the championship decider. The only championship decider, apart from F4 as well, that is going to be decided in Brazil, and it's Jensen versus Noah. The battle in the Americas, in South America and Brazil. We cannot wait to bring in the action there. It's going to be one spicy mamacita battle out on track as well between them both. With that, though, I think we're going to end it off here. Big thank you to Pepsi Freak, and big thank you, of course, our top 3 for the interviews. Much appreciated. As always, we're going to end over here. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.